In this week's episode, we're dropping some major Galaxy's Edge news and info. We've got opening dates, food and drink options, merchandise selections, and all of the details you'll need before you go. Diggs was at the Disneyland After Dark 90s event last week, and it was a blast from the past. There were Disney afternoon characters galore and lots of themed food, of course. Also, Captain Marvel beats the haters, Fox merger news, Aladdin trailer, and more on this hand-painted episode of the MousePIRE podcast.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Diggs.
I'm Tim. Welcome to MousePIRE, your source for Disney, Star Wars, and everything in between. This is the podcast where both empires collide. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the MousePIRE podcast.
What's going on? Uh-oh.
The apprentice lives.
What is this?
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
Think of me how to show up.
You never had a friend like me.
Some imagination, huh?
Made you look.
Blast off.
Blasting off.
I'm here.
Yes, Tim is here. He's here again.
I've barely made it.
He barely made it, and he already, he was already falling asleep.
Yeah.
But we had to poke him with a prod and wake him up.
Happy birthday. Oh, no.
No birthdays today?
No, I don't think so.
Probably someone's birthday, but we probably don't know them.
Yeah, we don't know you.
No, we don't. We talked about last week that we are going to be going over all the Galaxy's Edge news, so we're going to just, off the bat,
And there's more news.
we're going to start with that.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
a good
like,
thing you waited because now there's more.
There's more news, and yeah, so we're going to start with that because there's going to be a lot to talk about and probably some ranting going on. I don't know. You never know what goes on with this show.
True that, true that.
So, hey, Anthony, what we got?
Well, rumors actually came true for a change, first of all. We had gotten a rumor about the time that we were recording last week that from several different reliable and unreliable sources that on Thursday at a shareholder meeting that they were going to announce the opening dates for Galaxy's Edge. And, you know, as usual, we were like, yeah, we've heard that one before. Every time there's a shareholders or a earnings call or something, everybody assumes something's going to get announced. You know, I mean, every single time it's always the people keep waiting. You know, we keep on the Star Wars Episode 9 title announcement
Right,
that everybody's like, I've been crying for 2 months about, along with all the other crying, but that's a whole nother story.
Announcement.
But so we got the announcement. Surprisingly, not surprisingly, I don't know, that we did get the announcement early last Thursday morning, from the Iger man himself.
Yep.
And it's complicated.
Yes, it is. Like
What?
a relationship.
Yes, it's complicated. I don't even know where to begin. I know exactly where to begin. I was right.
Eh.
It's opening in May. I was right.
Barely.
I was right.
You said Memorial Day weekend.
I was right.
He said Memorial Day weekend, which is the week before.
But I've been saying May, though, and everybody else was like, oh, it's not going to open in May.
Well, I'm going to say I was right, too, but go ahead. I'll tell you.
You could say that, too.
I'll tell you why.
Well,
Go ahead.
I know. Technically, everybody's right.
Everybody's
No,
right.
no. I'll tell you why. Just go ahead.
So it is officially, unofficially, sneak peek of the sneak peek, opening on May 31st here in Disneyland. Just for complete sake, it will be opening August 29th at Disney's Hollywood Studio in Florida.
Complete or incomplete?
just to be complete. Just in case, I mean, we don't really know if we have anybody that listens that goes to Florida, but, some people might want to go to Florida. Somebody might want to be like, well, screw the one at Disneyland. I'm going to just wait and go to the opening of the one in Florida because it's in the summer. It's at the end of summer. I don't know. Because I feel like that's going to be a much better time for that one to open, first of all, because they're going to be basically opening going into quote-unquote off-season. Now, I don't know if there really is an off-season for Florida, but then it is kind of going into hurricane season. So, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I want to be at Galaxy's Edge when a hurricane hits. No, I don't.
The off-season in Florida sort of fluctuates with the schools. And
weather, I imagine. So, anyways, they use the term opening ahead of schedule. I don't know how they could consider it opening ahead of schedule since we don't even know what ahead of schedule is.
Right.
Now, one can presume from the way that this is all playing out what ahead of schedule means because they are considering basically a pre-opening period, what you would call it, of May 31st through June 23rd, which June 23rd is a Sunday. And actually, no, it was June 21st was when everybody said it was going to open.
I was saying when I said it would be open by
right,
the 23rd would be
basically the ending of this pre-open period is the same weekend that everybody had been predicting that it would open.
That's what I'm going to say. I was right because I said June 22nd.
Yeah,
right.
That's Saturday.
You thought Saturday. I had always thought it would be a Friday just because sometimes it is Friday, sometimes it's Saturday. It's kind of a shot in the dark with that. But
there's no Ozzy Osbourne here.
No, there isn't. So, I mean, everybody that was talking about that third weekend in June, which obviously everybody just came to that jump conclusion because of the whole blackouts thing with the annual passes. So those people were sort of right, but now I do find it interesting that it's going to go into basically basic Galaxy's Edge operation as far as getting in on a Monday, which... even though it's not really specified here that that's what will happen on the 24th, you have to assume by the way that everything's worded that on June 24th, Monday, June 24th, basically
I'm going to say Tuesday. I'm going to say not Memorial Day, which is the 24th.
No. We're in June.
Oh, June. Sorry.
No, June. We're talking about at the end of the pre-opening period.
I think at the end of the pre-opening period, they're going to determine whether or not these. We haven't discussed it yet, but these reservations that they're saying everybody else are going to continue or not.
Well, they can't. Well, they can't really. I mean, we'll talk about that right now. I just wanted to get the basics out of the way first. But I mean, they can't really go back on that once they. Well, they can because it's Disney and they do whatever they want apparently. But they can't really go back on that once they've started doing the reservations because then people, they'll be open to so many complaints if they do that. I mean, you look at the amount of complaints that they got. That you said they got just for backing out of one day of World of Color dining reservations. I mean, imagine how much of a cluster this would be if they started backing out of the whole reservation thing. Or if all of a sudden they decide that they're going to extend the reservation thing. That would be...
I don't mean backing out, I mean extending.
Right, and I don't... That would be backing out because people are going to go through hell probably trying to get reservations during this whole pre-opening period, which we might as well get into that right now.
So basically the deal is that they're requiring a fast pass to access the land. They're calling it a reservation, but that's basically what it is. It's a fast pass return time.
It's a way ahead of time fast pass from home.
So how do you think these are going to happen? Are they going to be super random, chosen over the internet, or are they going to hand them out to first come, first serve in the morning?
Well, first of all, glad you asked him, because they've already happening. Because anyone who already has or makes a hotel reservation during that period has first dibs already to make reservations for...
Which were gone in about an hour.
Well, yeah.
Or less, probably.
Well...
I tried to make a hotel reservation 3 hours after the announcement, and they were gone.
During that whole period, or just for opening day?
During that weekend. I don't know about the later in the...
Well, that's what I mean. So anybody who makes anybody who has or makes a hotel reservation between the May 31st and presumably June 23rd, if you have a hotel reservation anytime in that period, you can be the first dibs basically right now to get your reservation to get into Galaxy's Edge.
Now, the fine print said that, but you know what it also said?
It also says
said
subject
hotel
to not get in.
reservations do not guarantee entry into Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, somebody called that out in the comments, and of course it wasn't
very contradictory.
answered.
Yeah,
But I mean, basically, they're saying that if you have a hotel reservation, that you can get your reservation to get in. Now, the problem is are they going to oversell the reservations?
Yeah, some people aren't going to, unless they're giving them out that day.
Now, the other thing, obviously, like I said, the reservations haven't started yet for everybody else. At some point, presumably in the next month or so, or month and a half, they're going to start opening up reservations, and those are obviously going to go super fast as well. And
so I think
it's just going to be a per day thing. You're going to have to be able to, like with the hotel reservations, people that can already make reservations that have a hotel reservation. And we got to be this is confusing because you got hotel reservation, but then you got reservation to get into Galaxy's Edge. And those people say that basically you're allowed to pick one of the dates that's at part of your stay. Or they'll give you a date that's a part of your stay. And that'll be the day that you're allowed to go into Galaxy's Edge. So once they start opening up to everybody else, presumably the very first person that gets onto the internet will have the pick of all of the days between May 31st and June 23rd.
I don't think they're
However,
do it
no, they're 100% going to do it on the internet. Where else are they going to do it?
In person on the day.
No, it's going to be online.
It's going to be online way ahead of time, just like they're doing with the hotel people. The
Well,
problem
hotel
is
a different situation.
Problem is that with them allowing opening to the hotels first, you had a problem with that. The hotel people totally filling up all of the reservations for the very first day. So you do it.
Well, they may not allow. I mean, if those people are staying at that, I think the only people that are going to get the 31st. I was going to say 24th, but 31st are the people that are only booked or their stay ends the 31st. If you're only booked for one night or your stay ends the 31st, then that's the day you'll get. I think otherwise they're going to give the consecutive days.
Oh, right. No, yeah. But there were people that were, I know.
Of course, it's Disney. They'll probably do the complete opposite of that.
Well, I know that the day this was announced, there were still hotels available, like you said. I know they ranged from $500 to $900 for that day. I think it was $900 for the Grand Californian on May 31st per night. But
that sounds about right.
And so like you said, those are pretty much gone. So I mean, the hotels are all gone. Everybody that has a hotel reservation will be able to make a reservation for that night, because if any of them are just getting that day, then. But as far as let's just now that it's all very confusing. It's really super hard to explain.
What makes you guys think that these reservation, I'm going to call them a fast pass or return time reservation, are going to be done online? What makes you think that?
Why wouldn't they be?
Because then if anybody can make them, everybody's going to want to, and at that point, people might sell them. They might. They may just not show up. Like if any Joe Schmo, you're not an annual pass holder, you've got nothing, you can just go on and then what happens when you don't show up? I think it would be less fair.
I'll tell you exactly why it's going to happen online and not in person, because just the logistics for them is way better. Because if they do
they
it,
just don't want people showing up, you think, unless they have the reservation?
Well, that yes, because otherwise you're going to have thousands of people showing up opening day trying to get a reservation, and then once people get turned away, then it's going to turn into a bigger cluster, and it's going to be like the 60th.
Clearly, this open half the land and make reservations thing is what they decided to do.
Yeah, let's get to that. You just brought it up. I was going to talk about something else first, but you just alluded to opening half the land.
Well, in how do we say, in the spirit of Pixar Pier?
Yeah, in the spirit of Pixar Pier.
Now, at least with Pixar Pier, they had...
in the spirit of garbage...
They had multiple attractions open. At least they had 3 different attractions open for Pixar Pier. It wasn't the whole land, but at least it was 3, even though they were already old. Some of them were older ones.
Yeah, here's the rub of the whole thing is that opening day, at least presumably,
At least for the first month.
At least between May 31st and June 23rd, presumably.
Yeah.
Only the Smugglers Run Millennium Falcon ride will be open.
And that's only one of 2 attractions in the whole land.
It's been bad enough that everybody's been making a deal about how it's such a huge 14-acre land that it's only going to have 2 rides.
Yeah. But they're saying, but these rides are so big that it's okay.
But now they're saying that only one of them is going to be open the first day. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's ridiculous.
Why?
Now, if they, would it be appropriate or more appropriate
No.
if there was like a, just listen to me, smaller, like Mater's level attraction?
You're a Mater. That's how you do that.
I mean, imagine Cars Lands opens with racers.
Yes, no, I agree with you
Maters
100%.
open.
I 100% agree with you. If they had 3 or 4 small,
Even one.
Yeah, even one. Even if they had done over in the woods, but behind Critter Country, if they had put in the long rumored speeder bike ride or something.
That's what I hope that they're eventually will put in some speeder bike attraction.
Well, I mean, the plans for it are somewhere still.
Yeah.
When it was going
It
to go
could it could literally go all around the park.
When it was going to be go on top of Autopia, the plans are somewhere for that. So, just saying. But yes, no, you're 100% right. If they would have had at least one other small, like Gadgets Go Coaster or a Mater or
a la the Hogwarts Express,
Luigi's
little small roller coaster,
yeah,
Universal.
the Hippogriff ride,
exactly. That's
or something like that.
Not Hogwarts Express, the
so,
Hippogriff.
I mean, although in fairness, the Hippogriff ride is basically Smuggler's Run because there is only 2 rides in Harry Potter.
True, yeah.
So,
but that's their way of adding something else. But
right, but this is like having 2 of the castle ride.
Now they're saying that the ride that's not opening, the fight with the resistance ride.
Yeah, they're using the term.
They're saying that's the bigger of the 2 attractions.
Well, I mean, presumably that's the one that probably has the biggest queue because they have the most room for queue over there. That was one of the issues I was talking about either last week or the week before, where I was talking about how the Millennium Falcon ride, being that it's over to the right in the middle of the actual city, the town of Blackspire Outpost,
go underground for all we know.
It could, we don't know, but I just feel like that would be the only option. Whereas over on the other side, where the Resistance ride is, they have the woods, and you could have the queue go under the trees and there's shade. You can't really do that inside the city, but. So, yeah, they're using it. They're saying that phase 2, which will be later this year. They're using the term later this year, and they're saying that's when the Rise of the Resistance ride will open.
Whoa, he's going crazy here.
I mean, later this year could mean anything. It could open in the end of June. We're hoping. I just hope it opens before Florida. Now, I was thinking about this just a few minutes ago. I'm thinking
like
maybe
it's going to open the same day as Florida.
That's what I was thinking is that this might be their way to give the Florida people like basically an equal opening. They're only giving us the one, but then they're going to give that one to them first.
I could actually 100% get around that way of thinking. Even though it's never really mattered to them before. I mean, we've had lands open here. I mean, we have lands here that they don't have. So, right. I mean, and then they got Toy Story Land, which we don't have.
And they have Avatar, which we don't have either.
Or we care about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Supposedly, at least the one ride
well,
that they're supposed to be
I would love to at least
cool.
be able to walk through it. So, but, I mean, I could get behind that line of reasoning. It's really annoying because I just feel like that if they were that far behind, it's just like, wait. Just open it when it's ready. Because otherwise it's going to make it 10 times worse because all of the people that would have been in line for Rise of the Resistance are not going to be in line.
So they're
going to be cluttering up the whole damn place.
Have we seen any pictures from that, the Resistance? Inside anything like we have for the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, we've had lots of pictures. We had that one picture of the hallway with the shiny floor. That's
Well,
the floor that I
And
heard.
there was that one picture, that one thing, that one time.
Yeah.
But then there's the that brings up the whole thing that I told you a few weeks ago. How I had heard a rumor that they were, or had heard that they were having problems with the rubber.
Oh, right, that too.
Wait, the what? Where?
There were, you know how in Indiana Jones they have problem where rubber burns off and sticks to the track, and they have to scrape it every night.
On which ride?
On Indy.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
They're having the same problem apparently with the Rise of the Resistance ride.
And they don't want that problem.
Well, because those floors are pristine. That's the whole point of it being a trackless ride, is so that the floors can stay nice and shiny. But if you have rubber sticking to a pristine-looking black floor, it's going to stand out and look stupid and gross. But yeah,
True.
I mean, we've seen a few pictures.
And Indy's sort of a rundown looking place, so it works.
Indy's on a track, and the ride is set for you can't see the track.
Right.
So for the most part, so that it works for that. But this ride is being designed as a trackless ride, and you have much lower center of gravity on the ride. I think so you can see everything that's going on. But I mean, so I don't know if that's part of why this ride is delayed. I don't know. Did you have more of a thought on that, or?
Well, because I brought up a couple of weeks ago that a lot of the aesthetics weren't ready for that ride either. They were still behind on that. So that can be another reason why that's not opening yet.
Right.
So that's about it.
I hope that if they sell these rumored $500 tickets or more for early access, that at the very least they come with a fast pass to go on the Resistance ride when it actually opens.
Yeah, because I'm sure the people that went to the $200 Pixar Pier 1 got a fast pass to go on.
$300.
$300. I'm sure that the people that went to the $300 Pixar Pier 1 got a fast pass to go on Inside Out when it opens.
That nobody's going to need to go on that ride ever, so it doesn't really matter.
So yeah, I think that they've just basically, I don't know. If you want my opinion about how, I think they've just shot themselves in the foot, and they're going to make opening of Galaxy's Edge
lackluster
1,000 times worse than what it would have been already, and it's going to be lackluster. Yeah, I mean, either it's going to be a total madhouse because they're not going to be able to accommodate the people that they would have with the other ride open, and it's just going to be stupid in there, or they're going to have Harry Potter situation where it's going to be busy for a couple of days and then nobody's going to come back because there's only one thing to do.
And the line's 8 hours long or whatever.
It's like, who's going to go through all this trouble, reservations and all that crap to show up for one ride?
Well, here's the kicker. I don't know if you noticed it or not.
Because there's people...
Fast Pass and Max Pass will be disabled.
Right, well, I mean, you had to figure that was...
No, I figured that if you have a reservation for the land, that they'll at least let you make a Max Pass reservation too. Even if you take up your whole Max Pass thing for the whole day...
We've always figured that the Max Passes probably wouldn't take effect until after the initial summer, right?
I didn't think that, but nonetheless, I mean, I know people that have already got the better pass, the Signature Plus, a year ago or 8 months ago. They upgraded in lieu, or not in lieu, but in hopes that they'd be able to use it for Galaxy's Edge. That was just to have the...
But they will eventually.
They will.
Max Pass.
They'll be able to go that day.
No, but just
unlike
to be able
a lot of people.
No, not the pass, the Max Pass.
Oh, well, then
be able to use Max Pass. Because otherwise you only need you wouldn't need that one. You only
anybody
need the
who
other
buys
pass.
Signature Plus just for Max Pass, well, then that's their problem.
Well, no, because Max Pass is included in
nobody's
Signature Plus.
Nobody's ever said that Galaxy's Edge was going to have Max Pass, much less Fast Pass.
Well, no, they have previously announced
no, they
that
didn't.
I saw something. It may not have been from them officially, but I saw something that said that they wouldn't have regular Fast Pass, but it would be a Max Pass only.
Okay,
attraction.
they might have said that at one point, but I don't remember them saying. Do you remember them saying?
No, I don't.
Actually, it may have been something that I heard in person from from their attractions guy.
Oh, well, they don't mean they don't know anything. I don't know what to say about this whole situation. I mean, you'd like to think that a lot of the Star Wars fans are going to go for all of the land. They're not just there. They're like, like me. I don't want to see just the rides. I want to see all of it. I want to go from one end to the other slowly. absorbing it all, enjoying the whole thing. I don't even care if I don't get on the rides the first day, which obviously I'm not going to get on the first one of the rides the first time I go because it probably won't even be open depending on.
Well, I want to make sure
depending on when I go for the first time, which may not be until after summer at this point. So,
I mean, if I'm there opening day or within the first couple days, what I want to get, honestly, more than the readiness of one attraction, is I want to make sure that I get whatever merchandise they have before it's all gone, because they're not going to order enough of it. I want to make sure that if they have a porg or some thing that sits on your shoulder, like the little dragons from Avatar Land, that is some sort of puppet or whatever, or animatronic or something, that I'm going to have access to get one of those. Before they're all gone, before somebody buys them all up.
Well, that's a nice segue into our next section, which is the big info dump that happened a week and a half ago that we talked about last week that we were going to wait on.
So before you start, I just want to say that basically people from different media outlets were invited to come to Galaxy's Edge and check it out, but they were not allowed to publish this until 9 p.m. on that. What was it? What day was that?
The 27th.
So yeah, the 27th. They weren't allowed to publish it until 9 p.m.
Yeah, they had went like the Wednesday before or something like that. There was, I believe, 7 or 9 people from different outlets, Nerdist, Entertainment Weekly, IO9, so on.
So I just think it was funny because all of a sudden, right on 9 o'clock, all these tweets come out, and all things Galaxy's Edge, and it was just crazy.
And the thing is since there was like whatever it was, 7 or 9 different people, you had 7 or 9 different takes of what they saw. So, and really to absorb all of it and to get the whole story, you almost have to read at least 3 a sample size of at least 3 different people. That's what I did. Like I read at least the one from Nerdist, which was from Amy Ratcliffe, who's a big person with Star Wars on Twitter. The other one was Anthony Bresnikan, who's one of the big entertainment people with Entertainment Weekly, and then Jermaine Lucier. I don't know how to say his name. He's with IO9. Those are the 3 that I read because those are the 3 people that I were already following on Twitter. So there's some information about the rides, but there was like almost kind of like a walkthrough, but not really a walkthrough. They did verify a lot of things that I had said that were being rumored about the Rises of the Resistance ride. That one that's not going to be open yet.
Yeah.
Until 2020.
Yeah.
It's going to open a year after Jesse's Critters opens. I had talked about how the Rises of the Resistance was going to have 2 different phases, and that was kind of confirmed with when the costumes were announced, and there were Resistance costumes and there were First Order costumes. So you're actually going to start in the Resistance base and board a Resistance shuttle, and then you're going to end up in the First Order base where you're going to switch to your cast members all having First Order uniforms on. So, and that's where you'll get on the actual ride. So that was definitely
in 2020.
Yeah, yes, in 2020. That was definitely confirmed, but that's all we'll go into the ride. Like I said, we're of the mind. Tim, if he wants to read the spoilers and watch a video later, that's on him. But Diggs and I are both of the mind that we don't want to be spoiled on the rides because we want to be totally excited and thrilled just getting that first experience as opposed to watching a video on YouTube, Michael Marquez.
Dirty.
Hi, Michael.
But speaking of the ride that will be open on May 31st, for those of you that will be lucky enough to be there, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
Minus Han Solo. But as I've been explaining over the past few weeks, some of the setup that we've been getting for the ride, we knew that there shouldn't be any Han Solo, but we knew that there would be a appearance by a certain Weequay pirate from that has shown up on Clone Wars and Rebels. Yes, Hondo Anaka, who I mentioned a few weeks ago, having read that book, that he was going to be the one in possession of the Millennium Falcon, and that basically at the end is basically sets up for the ride that he's starting a shipping business. And with his stolen ship.
No, it's not stolen. He borrowed it.
It's been borrowed.
It's been borrowed from Chewie. Actually, it's not borrowed from Han because Han's dead in this time frame.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Han dies?
Because as we've said before, this takes place after Last Jedi and before Episode 9. So the Millennium Falcon was lent to Hondo, and now he has now decided to use it to make some extra cash for himself to buy his own ship before he gives the Millennium Falcon back to Chewie.
Because he knows Chewie's not a killer and won't come after him.
Well, no, Chewie owes him a favor from stuff that happened in the book that I was telling about. But so not only do we know that Hondo is going to have something to do with the ride, but there will actually be a Hondo animatronic in what is being billed as the second most intricate and complicated advanced animatronic ever made.
So it's basically a human?
No, it's a Weequay. It's a humanoid, yes.
Like the
first one,
like the Han Solo, like the Indiana Jones holding back or standing next to the
yes,
boulder.
But way better than that.
Obviously.
As I said, the second most advanced animatronic, with the first being the shaman in Avatar, the aforementioned Avatar.
Oh.
In Pandora in Florida. That's the most advanced animatronic. The Hondo that will be appearing in there is the second most animatronic, or the second most advanced animatronic ever made. It looks really cool. They had a little video of it. I don't think there's really any I don't think there's really anything to see in the video or to hear in the video, so there's no reason to play that, but it looks really cool. It looks really awesome. I can't wait to hear him. Of course, we're going to get a nice audio track and get to hear the awesome voice of Jim Cummings.
Is this a guy that previously has only existed as a cartoon?
Yes.
So seeing him in live action form, so to speak, would be a first.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yes. Yes. He has only previously appeared in either books or the Clone Wars animated series or the Rebels animated series or comics or whatever.
Do you think that they are basing his, I'll say, humanoid features off of an actual person so that person can, in the future, appear in the universe?
I don't know.
Would make sense,
I
right?
have discussed with other people whether we think that having this animatronic Hondo means that we won't get a Hondo that walks around inside of Galaxy's Edge itself in around the town.
Because he's always there. Because
I was hoping that there would be a one, or at least one for like a photo op or something, a Hondo photo op. I still hold out hope that there still might be one, but as long as he's in a different place. I mean, it's not like they don't have Mickey appear in like 6 different places at once. So why couldn't Hondo?
Well,
but,
what if the animatronic is in the queue?
The animatronic would be in the queue,
and the photo op is part of the queue experience.
I don't know.
That would make sense.
That we don't have enough.
Everybody going by gets to take.
We don't have enough to speculate on that, but we can say that Hondo is definitely going to have the animatronic. It is definitely in the queue or somewhere at the beginning of the, probably in the beginning of the ride. It's obviously going to be someplace that you're not going to skip it, going through like a Fast Pass or Max Pass line or something later on. And but he will be there. It's going to be cool. So moving on. To drinks.
I'm kind of thirsty. You have anything to drink?
Eat, drink, and be merry. You have Barry.
Oh yeah, I don't know him.
All right, so Oga's Cantina. We've mentioned Oga's Cantina before. That will be the cantina where you'll be able to buy your alcohol. That is where the former Captain Rex will be there spinning some tunes.
He is now DJ.
He is DJ Fresh.
Not Tim.
Fresh Tim Rex.
Not a DJ.
And there has been much speculation about the drinks and stuff that will be involved. And I had mentioned that there have been drinks that were mentioned in a couple of the books, including the Thrawn book and the Hondo book. Well, I can verify that at least one of those that one of these is from the books, and that is the Fuzzy Tauntaun. So we will just go through real fast, going through here. That let's just say a lot of very colorful drinks, very pretty drinks, lots of smoke, dry ice action going on.
Cool.
Treats.
Ooh.
You will be able to get some light snacks. They have a cantina mix, which is basically going to be their version of bar peanuts.
Oh,
Except for it's going to be like those wasabi peas, rice cracker bits, shrimp chips, and freeze-dried chocolate. None of that sounds good to me, so I will be skipping the cantina snacks. They're going to have Oga's Obsession, which will be a gelatin-based dish served in a petri dish with popping pearls, dried fruits, and pop rocks.
ooh.
I
Basically, a
can
concoction
say
of sugar.
that it looks cool. That is this here. That is that.
Oh, that looks really
It
good.
looks very interesting.
Mm.
I don't know if I would get it. I would like to take a picture of it.
I'd like to take a sip if you guys bought it. I mean,
They have something else called a Rhodian ration, which they don't say what it is at all. They do have several non-alcoholic beverages, including a MousePIRE brew, which is a cold brew coffee. They have what's called the Blue Bantha, which is a basically glass of blue milk topped with a cookie decorated with a bantha horn. Now it says it's a cookie, but it looks more like a donut. But I don't know.
Maybe it's a donut cookie.
It's a giant.
they're
thick-
all about putting like things on top of things these days. Like
That's the
food on-
trend.
Yeah,
It's
that is the trend
the
because it is a
dumbest
trend that they
trend.
are going with.
I
Because,
disagree.
There's something else here that I don't know if I think it might be the Mugen tea or something, but they do have some other drink here that has a bone on top of it of some sort. I don't know what that is. There isn't descriptions for all of the beverages, so I think they have only gone to try maybe a couple, or maybe they weren't given descriptions for all of them. Because then there's one called a Cliff Dweller, Tureen Tea, Hyperdrive Punch
Ooh.
It, Hyperdrive Punch It,
Punch it, Chewy.
Java Juice,
Ew.
Mugen Tea, and Carbon Freeze. So those are all
Oh, that's
non-alcoholic beverages.
That's cool.
The names are really cool, like I said. Getting into the alcoholic potations, as they put it. Once again, a lot of colorful colors, cool-looking glasses. Hopefully they stick with the glasses thing. And interesting things. Like I said, the Fuzzy Tauntaun, which I said was mentioned in the both of the books, I believe, the Thrawn and the Hondo book.
Okay, real quick. How was it mentioned? Just they went up to a
Somebody was actually ordering it. Some Hondo or somebody that was people were actually ordering the drinks while they were in this cantina. I don't think the cantina had different names in the books, though, because it was a different proprietor. But
that's cool.
a bloody rancor. Oh, the Fuzzy Tauntaun, as you can probably gather by the name, is basically a fuzzy navel, but with different looking stuff. A bloody rancor is basically a Bloody Mary-esque drink. They have what's called a Yub Nub, which is a rum punch with passion fruit seeds.
That is funny.
They have a Jedi Mind Trick.
Whoa.
It is botanical flavors, grapefruit, bitterness, and meant to start and finish in different ways. Whatever the hell that means.
What is the botanical flavors? Is that like flowery?
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah.
They have what's called the Outer Rim, which is appropriate since this is in the Outer Rim. And it's basically a margarita with a black salt rim.
You're an
Oh.
outer rim.
I like that.
That's using it correctly.
I would drink that. I would try that.
Yeah, I mean, I like margaritas.
Yeah.
Black salt. T16 Skyhopper. The rest of these don't have any. Oh, some do. Dagobah Slug Slinger. Jet Juice. Spearin Calf. Bespin Fizz. Bad Motivator IPA. So they're going to have their own microbrews.
right.
They probably have a microbrew somewhere making beer for them. Toneray, which I believe is in one of the books. Toneray. It is a teal and bubbly, just like the Alderaan version, whatever that means. White Wampa Ale, which is a wheat beer. And then Spice Runner, which is a dark red cider, which I will be 100% trying. Yeah. It says keep an eye out for the brewer of the beers on special tap handles in the cantina. Now, it just reminds you that Oga's Cantina and MousePIRE Outpost will be the only place guests can get alcoholic beverages in Disneyland, and that beverages must be consumed inside of Oga's.
So here's my question: is this the only place that they have food and drink in the land?
No, we are not done.
Okay.
There is basically 2 places. 3 places. I'm sorry. There's 3 places for food and drink. And it is a lot of food and drink. And of course, it just reminds you, as I said, about DJ RX or R3X, also known as Captain Former Rex. Okay, next, when Galaxy's Edge concept art first came out, they showed you what looked like a barbecue that had a pod racer engine that was hanging, shooting down, and they made it look like that was going to be some big barbecue joint or something. Well, that is going to be a place called Ronto Roasters.
It's a big lie?
Whoa.
What?
It's real.
Yeah, it's real.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Have you ever been to, at Brea Mall, they have that one Chinese place there at the corner that has that big round thing that they're cooking the food on?
Yeah.
And it has the big hood.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of reminds me of that. But, Ronald Roasters is going to be he's going to be roasting meat on a spit.
Roast that meat.
Roast that meat. It's an open-air establishment. It's owned by a guy named Bakar. He's a huge pod racing fan. He runs it with the help of his droid 8DJ8. The shop is decorated with pod racing flags and flair, and Bakar has modified the actual pod racing engine to roast Ronto meat. For those of you that may not remember, for the Star Wars Special Edition, when they go to Mos Eisley, they added those big brontosaurus-looking creatures walking around Mos Eisley. When they first get there, they're walking around in the background, and there's Jawa's riding them, and then one of them kind of rears up, and Jawa falls off, and he's hanging. You don't remember that?
No.
Okay. Tim, are you paying attention?
Nope.
Okay. What else is new? Anyways, that's a Ronto. He's going to be serving, basically, he's importing Ronto meat from Tatooine, which would imply that it's not far. Yoda's not far. No, wait. Tatooine not far.
Not far.
Tatooine not far. I mean, Tatooine we do know is in the Outer Rim, but you would presume that Tatooine's not too far, because otherwise, that Ronto meat would spoil. You can't trust these cold shipping containers, in space.
I was gonna say, isn't it cold in space anyway?
I suppose so.
It's the coldest.
Now, they will be serving different things at Ronto Roasters. They will have a Ronto wrap, which will be a wrap with roasted pork and spiced grilled Portuguese sausage topped with a slaw and spicy clutch sauce and a pita. Now, I know it's probably something that you're not going to try.
Right.
But it does look very yummy. I think Tim would be more than willing to eat that.
I'll put it in my mouth.
And that's all you needed to know about that. They will have sweet teriyaki turkey jerky. They took into account that the excessive heat from the pod race engine would dry meat out, hence the jerky. Now, obviously, this is also supposed to be Ronto meat, but it is the Ronto wrap is pork and Portuguese sausage. This is turkey jerky. They will also have a spicy...
You're a turkey jerky.
Besides having the sweet teriyaki turkey jerky, they will also have a spicy herb turkey jerky. And then they will have 3 drinks, which are the Sour Sarlacc, the Tatooine Sunset, and Meiloorun juice. For people that watch Star Wars Rebels, Meiloorun's are those big red fruits that they... there was actually in the very first episode of Rebels when Ezra helps the vendor in the streets. He's selling Meiloorun's. And then later on, they have to steal some Meiloorun's.
Oh.
But it's a big red, fruit. But, I take it back. There's actually 4 plates. Oh. Okay, maybe there's... Some of these places only have, one thing. So maybe there's, 5 different places with food. The person who wrote this says that they definitely can't wait to try the Ronto wrap again. They highly recommend that. The spice isn't a straightforward hot sauce taste. It's more complex and a little smoky. It hits you in the back of your throat. The beverages are all non-alcoholic, light and fruity. They would all be refreshing on a warm day. The Tatooine Sunset has a touch of a desert pear that makes it their top pick.
Cool.
Moving over to another place that will presumably just some sort of walk-up type deal will be the milk stand. You'll be able to, of course, get your blue milk, but it will not just be regular blue milk. This will be frozen blue milk.
Whoa.
Interesting.
With much added sugar?
Probably. Galaxy's Edge milk stand will be run by a guy named Bubba Wamba.
Bubba!
So basically this is their...
Bubbo, actually. Bubbo Wamba.
This is
Bubbo
their...
Wamba.
The blue milk is what they're trying to do, their version of the, what's the Harry Potter butter beer?
Well, they're trying to do their version of blue milk, which people have been looking forward to for 40 years.
40?
Well, blue milk was introduced in Star Wars. Remember, that's what Luke is drinking when he's bitching with Uncle Owen.
Oh.
Do you ever watch? Have you even seen Star Wars? No.
Yes. The blue milk wasn't the thing that I was focused on.
Okay.
Was it Leia's buns?
So, anyways, the milk stand is run by Bubbo Wamba Farms. Maybe a relation to Bubba. I don't know. And they will serve the iconic space beverage in a newer iteration with frozen blue milk and frozen green milk. Food and beverage concept development director, somebody described the texture as being like a smoothie, almost like a milkshake, but it is a plant-based dairy dairy-based drink. They are all vegan. The blue bantha milk is described as having berry notes, while the green Thala-Siren milk from The Last Jedi will have a tropical flavor.
How can they say vegan and dairy-based in the same statement?
No, non-plant dairy-based.
Oh, plant dairy.
Plant dairy-based.
Dairy
In other words,
literally
it's
means milk-based.
Plant dairy. Like
So they've milked the plant?
Sure. Of course, the green one is, I made the comment that it doesn't make any sense that the green one is being served as a frozen drink, because the green Thala-Siren milk should definitely be served hot, just like Luke likes it out of his drink, right?
Yeah.
Nasty. All right, another little, just a walk-up little place, I assume, is a place called Katsaka's Kettle.
That sounds something people say in Boston. Inside joke, people.
Katsaka's Kettle. Katsaka's Kettle. As you wander through the marketplace, browsing wares and exploring stalls, this is probably going to be something that's going to be like Bengal barbecue or something like that. It's going to be just like next to a probably a store. When
did they start serving rice at the Bengal barbecue?
Since we announced it on the podcast. No, you're talking about from that platter.
Yeah, I saw today somebody walking with a platter that was
that's
had
the one
rice on it.
That's the one that Giselle's been talking about for months that she gets.
Yeah,
they started that sometime last year. I don't remember when it was, but probably November, maybe October.
Right on.
I don't know. Katsaka's Kettle serves Outpost Mix. It is a sweet and salty popcorn mix with a little bit of spices that's dark red and purple. Katsaka's a local farmer to MousePIRE Outpost and harvests different kinds of grains. One of her favorite things to do is to travel around the galaxy and collect various spices and bring them back to Batuu to use in her cooking. So apparently Katsaka is a woman from Batuu. So this is basically just a popcorn stand, to be honest. It's just basically and that's what the popcorn looks like. Doesn't look very...
Popcorn.
Looks like red popcorn. It's weird. It's like somebody bled all over some popcorn, I guess. All right, so if you want to get into the deep, deep food, here we go. Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo. Now, we've been talking for some months since they first appeared, people getting photos of this, that there was a building that had what looked like a cargo shuttle on top of it. And we've been mentioning that there had been some speculation that would be a quick service food window. Well, that has been verified. Now, we don't exactly know whether it's just that one window on top out of the main place, or if there's also something below it, or how big this place is, because some of the stuff being sold out of here doesn't seem like it's something that would come out of a quick service window, like going to Tomorrowland Terrence.
Terrence?
It's just not like some. It's just not like hamburger and fries or chicken fingers or something. There's some like quality food coming out of this place.
Not like the Tomorrowland Terrence?
No. So the Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo is the Galaxy's Edge quick service restaurant with many bold options for adult and children. The chef is none other than Serrano Tuggs, a.k.a. Cookie. He used to be chef at Maz Kanata's Tokodana Castle until the First Order wrecked it in Force Awakens.
Well, at least he got a new job.
Right, exactly. But cooks are pretty, Chef Oscar, he could have gotten a job anywhere if he wanted to.
That's
if
true.
Disneyland was destroyed, he could go anywhere.
That's true.
He actually appeared in a short story about a cooking competition in the short story book that came out during the countdown to Force Awakens called Tales from a Galaxy Far, Far Away, Aliens. He had a story in there. These days he has a traveling kitchen and restaurant thanks to a modified Words transport. He's proud to serve Tug's grub. Oh, traveling dinner or traveling diner for diners traveling in Blackspire. Here's what you can order: the braised shack roast. I mean, shack's pretty big, so you could probably get quite a bit of roast out of it.
I was gonna say, whoa, poor Shaq.
But it's basically a beef pot roast with cavatelli pasta, kale, and mushrooms. But you can see what I mean. That is definitely no quick service regular Disneyland type
It's
food.
like the smallest piece of pot roast I have ever seen in my whole life.
Well, you don't know how big this is. This is what they gave them to sample. I mean, for all we know, it has to be for them to sell it out of there. It's got to be a little bit bigger portions than what you get from, say, Food and Wine. Next up is the fried Yip Yip. Yip Yip is fried chicken, basically, not batter fried though, and it has roasted vegetable mash, and a green herb gravy. And then they have a Felucian garden spread, which is a vegan meatballs with herb hummus, tomato cucumber relish, and a pita bread. They have a Thorian garden loaf, which is a vegan meatloaf served with roasted vegetable mash, seasonal vegetables, and mushroom sauce. They have what's called Kadu ribs, which are smoked country-style pork ribs cut in a way unique to Docking Bay 7, with a blueberry corn muffin and cabbage slaw. You should try and find out who the chef is going to be over there and see if it's anybody like, a name or something.
Yeah, I was thinking
one of those guys that's like it goes to the hotels a lot, or
yeah. I was just thinking the chef from was it that restaurant Cattell? Is that what it's called? Cattell, whatever. In downtown Disney.
Okay.
I believe he's the same chef as Club 33.
Oh, okay.
So I was wondering if that's his menu or anything. I'll see.
Right, because it's all very fancy.
Yeah.
There's nothing. You look at these. There's nothing quick service about any of the way that any of these look.
Yeah.
They all look like basically promo photos for like the food at the Food and Wine Festival. But you could tell it's a bit. Like right here, you could tell that this is a bit bigger portion than anything you would get in Food and Wine, if this is an actual portion, Tim.
If it is.
Well, what else? They're not
definitely bigger than Food and Wine.
Well, yeah.
Then again, that could be a really, really small cup.
I doubt it. You look at the size of the vegetables and stuff. What I was just showing is an oven roasted burra fish. It is a Dijon-crusted sustainable fish with mixed greens, roasted vegetables, and curry ranch dressing. They also have an oven roasted Yip Yip, which is roasted chicken with mixed greens, roasted vegetables, quinoa, and green curry ranch dressing. These are all kind of like bowls.
Because that's what's in too.
Yes. They have a Yob shrimp noodle salad, which is a marinated noodle salad with chilled shrimp. They have a bunch of desserts, which apparently have no names yet, but they include a raspberry cream puff with passion fruit mousse and a chocolate cake with white chocolate mousse and coffee custard. The chocolate disc on these desserts depict Black Spire Outpost's emblem, so they're mostly probably going to be the usual size of your usual small desserts that have like a little chocolate disc with some sort of logo on it. They also have a couple drinks there. They have a Fatro, which apparently is a alcoholic beverage in the Clone Wars cartoon, but here it appears as a non-alcoholic beverage. And then they also have something called Moof Juice, which I have no words.
It's made of moof.
Yeah, basically. The children's menu will include small portion sizes of the Yob shrimp noodle salad and the fried Yip Yip.
You're a fried Yip Yip.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Here's what the to-be-named desserts look like. So even they're plated really fancy.
Yeah, it's nice.
It says Disney hasn't yet decided whether they will relabel water bottles to be in-universe, as in like what Harry Potter does with relabel all their water to be
Currently undecided.
goalie water. You would have to assume that they're going to do something like that. It sounds like they will get imports of soda to Black Spire Outpost, so they might be actually maybe getting some sort of like craft soda. Maybe that would be kind of interesting, or something like that. If not, they're definitely going to have some sort of soda on tap that they'll probably just rename or something like that. Or like I said, maybe if it's just like a
Black
generic,
Spire Cola.
right? Black Spire Cola, or Black Spire Black Cherry Cola.
Ooh, stop! I can't have sugar.
All right, so that is the food and drinks. Moving on to Tim was talking about merchandise. The way that the merchandise is going to work, you have to presume that they are going to be ready for the, the amount of people that they're going to have. That they're going to have enough merchandise. Presumably, there's somebody somewhere in a sweatshop is cranking out all of these handmade toys and stuff, and whatever the packaging is going to be, and all that.
Made by Star Children.
Yes. There are going to be several
Intergalactic sweatshop.
There's going to be several different shops. You're not going to, like we've stressed before, everything's going to be in universe. They stress that you're not going to be seeing a product with the giant Star Wars logo emblazoned on the front. And they are very specific about this. You will not be exiting an attraction into a gift shop. That is notable because it's the first actual mention of that I have seen.
Whoa.
Instead,
I had almost...
everything will be a gift shop.
Well, basically. Because I had always assumed that at least the Millennium Falcon ride being where it's placed in the town itself, that I always assumed that it would exit through the gift shop, as Banky would say. Or Banksy. Right? Banksy, yeah. But according to this, you will not exit attraction in the gift shop. You will exit the attraction, and then there will be a gift shop across the street, probably. So,
Cool.
I mean, either way, there's gift shops. I guess they figured that they don't really need to sell the gifts because the whole place is a gift shop. There's going to be lots of shops. You will be able to buy handmade items from a Tordarian toy maker, purchase Jedi and Sith artifacts from an Ithorian collector, build your own droid or lightsaber, or maybe even adopt a creature from a merchant stall along the winding village streets. Okay, the first place that we'll just go through real fast is a place called Doc Ondar.
Doc Ondar?
Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities. Doc Ondar himself was actually referenced by Kira in Star Wars, or in Solo.
Okay.
When they were talking about Black Spire. He has run quite the place for his vast collection. He's a key figure in the black market, and he runs this place. It is filled with items. The Ithorian, he is an Ithorian. He's one of the what people who don't know Star Wars names would refer to as a hammerhead.
Oh, that's right. I remember him.
There will be a animatronic Doc Ondar in the shop.
Cool. Is he gonna be like Bing Bong?
He's 245 years old. No, because he's an animatronic, so he's actually going to freaking move.
Oh, not just a speaker making noise.
Not just going to be a speaker making noise. He is 245 years old. He will be presiding over the shop, going about his day. He'll never repeat the same actions thanks to carefully programmed animations. Pegged to 2 modes, happy or frustrated. He can interact with cast members in his native Ithorian. So
He'll never repeat the same actions, but he only has 2 emotions.
you have to assume that there's going to be probably cast members that are trained in that particular shop will have probably ordained or preset interactions that they could have with him when he turns to speak to them. They probably have stuff that they'll be able to say back to them.
They'll be performing weddings.
It'll be a really nice touch if they actually the cast members that are willing will even learn some Ithorian to speak back to him. That would be kind of neat.
Yeah, I would.
But besides being a prime place to look for Easter eggs from across Star Wars films, animated series, and published materials, the Den of Antiquities is a place to shop for Jedi and Sith artifacts. Do you want a replica of one of the statues in Palpatine's office, a bust of Mace Windu, or even a fancy boxed legacy lightsaber that Doc Ondar has found somewhere in the galaxy? You can buy the hilt alone or buy a separate blade. The blade will know what color it should be based on which hilt you pair it with.
Whoa.
Doc Ondar even sells display stands for your lightsaber and belt hooks for the hilts. These are the lightsabers that they will be selling in there, examples of them. They will be most likely kind of on par with, not Ponfar or not Ondar, but they will be on par with kind of like the whole wand choosing experience in Harry Potter, where they do the whole wand choosing thing and the wand, and you pick a wand and the guy gives it to you, and then they shame you into buying it.
There you go.
Is that how they're going to do lightsabers?
I assume that it's going to be maybe something similar to that, because each time I'll like how the color knows which hilt it goes with and all that. You will also be able to discover Jedi and Sith holocrons. The holocrons communicate quotes and information from the galaxy, and you can even pop in a kyber crystal, which you can purchase, and you can unlock additional content from the devices. And I assume the kyber crystals will also have something to do with the lightsabers as well. These are what the holocrons look like.
What's it do?
It's just what I said just now. They communicate quotes and information from the galaxy. Basically, otherwise, it's just a really fancy prop. Because those have appeared in the series going back to Clone Wars. Both of these styles appeared prominently in later seasons of Rebels when Darth Maul was trying to seduce Ezra. Moving over to the Toydarian Toy Maker. For those of you that don't know, a Toydarian is basically what Watto was in Phantom Menace. The guy he talks like this. I'm a Toydarian. That's not very good. I used to be able to do it better, but nestled within the marketplace, you'll find the Toydarian Toy Maker. The owner of this stall, Zabaka. Not like Banaka or Baraka or Chewbacca. Zabaka. He has heard stories about heroes and characters from around the galaxy, and he has made plush toys like the ones you see in the above image. Well, you guys aren't seeing them because this is audio, but since I mentioned it, I might include this picture in the episode photo, just because I'm referencing it. So yeah, presumably Zabaka himself has made all of the toys himself, in addition to plush toys and carvings, of which there's a couple like wood type carvings. Zabaka also sells musical instruments such as a Ewok drum and clue horn. The latter being an instrument used by the Cantina Band. And I think that's what this is, too. I think this is another instrument. So it's really cool. I like the whole idea of having musical instruments. But you see all of the plushes and stuff.
I don't need that thing. I can play the
with your mouth.
With my mouth.
You can play the instrument yourself, or you can press a button and it'll play pre-programmed music.
Like
yes. You can play Cantina Band and annoy or delight everyone around you, just like Tim.
So does it say annoy on there?
Yes, it does. It says annoy or delight everyone around you.
Yeah, those won't last long.
It's not pictured, but the toy maker will also sell little portable fans that look like moisture evaporators from Star Wars. the little evaporators.
Yeah.
The white thing sticking up out of the ground. So it's going to be one of those little probably fans where the blades come out and you cool yourself, but it's going to look like a moisture evaporator. Over at the creature stall, anyone who wants to take home a creature from the Star Wars universe can do so at the creature stall, owned by an Amani named Bina. This marketplace stall seems practically alive with animatronic creatures. She won't be present. Bina herself won't be present as she's out collecting exotic creatures for her shop, but there will be several animatronic creatures. Almost think like a tiki room, always going, or something like that, or even maybe like Rainforest Cafe, how there's always this stuff going on with the creatures and the animals and stuff.
Yeah.
Think something like that. You'll be able to purchase. One cage has a moving wart. Another cage holds something softer and more cuddly. You can purchase small versions of puffer pigs, rathtars, tauntauns, porgs, and more. All the creatures that they saw, basically what's in the photo, all have special movement and or sound feature. Over at Savi's workshop, you will be able to, as it reminds that it's set loosely in the time after The Last Jedi. It's not a popular time to be a Jedi enthusiast, but Savi apparently is. He owns Savi's workshop and uses scraps of lightsabers and fragments from the Jedi's past to work with his gatherers to pass along the art of crafting a lightsaber. He wants to keep the spark of hope alive and inspire everyone to be heroes like the Jedi. This is part experience guided by Savi's gatherers and part retail. It starts with you picking your story. Peace and Justice, a Jedi-inspired lightsaber pieces, Power and Control, Sith-inspired lightsaber pieces, Elemental Nature, Nature-inspired lightsaber pieces, or Protection and Defense, which are ancient lightsaber pieces. The story will dictate which set of lightsaber pieces you receive, and you will choose your kyber crystal, purple, green, blue, or red, and build your own lightsaber, a hilt, and a blade. And 14 guests will be able to build lightsabers at a time.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is going to be
new build your own,
but build your own real looking lightsaber, probably not a plastic lightsaber.
You're right. Yeah, clearly nicer. But do you think they'll be as nice as the ones that they're currently selling, the removable blade?
No, I think it's going to be something maybe like
this.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be these ones here that are in the photo for later on for the costumes. They do show some lightsabers, which I don't know if that's what they are. But I mean, there's only really concept art for that, so it's not specific whether it's going to be really nice lightsaber parts. It definitely goes into a lot more detail, being that you're going to have like the kyber crystal and the whole story with it. Once again, this is kind of along the same lines as the picking the wand in Harry Potter, whereas you pick a storyline that you want to go with your lightsaber, and then you'll be able to pick your colors and your all that stuff. So basically says build your own lightsaber, a hilt, and the blades. So it almost like maybe the blades. It might be something more along the lines of like the ones that they sell in the park that are already put together, the ones that light up that have the nicer blades.
Right.
It might be something like that. They've figured out a way to deconstruct those where you can build them or something like that. I don't know.
I've heard that this is all new. That lightsaber thing is they filed new patents and stuff.
I believe it. Yeah. Because it probably goes along with some of those patents that we've seen in the past. Not Patton Oswalt, but the patents that we've seen dealing with lightsabers and stuff. We did see a couple of those. Next up is the Droid Depot. We've actually found out the Droid Depot does have their own... I know that's one of the places that does have a very specific uniform that goes with it. The Droid Depot, they will have be able to build your own droid.
Cool.
The owner is named Mubo. He owns the Droid Depot. He's a very tech savvy and likes to build and share his knowledge. He won't be present in the shop because, apparently everybody's out doing things. Except for the Ithorian. But he's left you in the capable hands of his team. You'll be able to choose brand new droid parts from a conveyor belt, take them to build station, follow instructions to assemble your highly custom-made R-Series or BB Series droid. Each of the droids that you'll be able to build are approximately 12 inches tall. So we're not talking about little droid builders like that's at Star Trader. We're talking about like full-size, cool-looking droids. about a foot tall.
So they basically just increased the size of what they had over there.
Well, and they're a lot more than that, though. It's not just like an oversized Star Wars figure, which is what those are, just basically figures. You'll be able to place it in the activation station once you're done. Once your droid is activated, it lights up and makes sounds and everything, so it's not just a freaking oversized toy. Your droid can interact with other droids,
Ooh.
and you will be able to put it on the ground and it'll interact around the village.
That is crazy.
Now, how many people are going to be tempted when with freaking thousands of people walking around? It'll be like 5 years from now before we could actually take our droids over and have them walk around.
Because don't forget, you're also going to have to deal with strollers.
Exactly.
Well, and if there's a droid on the ground, I mean, chances are somebody's going to kick one.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Droid Depot also has some ready-to-buy options. They have a C-3PO toy that interacts with your actions. If you take his head off, he'll have something to say about it. They also have a BB-8 and R2-D2 at the same scale as the customizable ones. And you can pick up droid keychains. And the coolest of all, they have a, to be assumed by the scale that he's shown in the picture, they also have another RX-24, DJ Rex. He operates with a remote. He plays Star Tours audio, and he'll connect to your smart device to play classics like Jedi Rocks.
That's cool.
And he also has DJ sound effects like the classic air horn, which that just means to tell me that I need to get one to use on the podcast.
Is that like the new one where they go wah 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 wah?
But those are what the droids. Those are what the droids look like, including Rex there in the center.
You're what a droid looks like. And I'm on a roll tonight, aren't I?
No.
You're a hit or miss. But he looks really cool.
I like
the way-
Rex, but
Yeah, he looks really awesome.
the other ones are kind of eh.
Well, they're like build droids, you know. That's obviously the ready-made BB-8, and that's the ready-made R2, but the rest will be all the different designs. It's basically the same order as what you said, like a Star Trader, but they're much more detailed and larger and cool.
Cool.
There's also special packaging for the custom astromech units in the that are being sold at the Droid Depot. All Galaxy's Edge products will have inter-universe packaging as much as possible with limited point-of-sale footprints. The First Order will have nicer, more structured packaging, while the rest of MousePIRE has more resourceful, their out-of-necessity packaging. They'll be offering reusable bags for sale and will minimize using the usual Disneyland plastic bags. So in other words, like if you're buying anything that's in the First Order section, which we know from some of the descriptions, the First Order section of MousePIRE Outpost is the far right of it. When you walk in, that's where we know that there's a new TIE fighter that's going to be over there, and the MousePIRE Stormtrooper are going to be stationed over there. Any of the stores that are going to be over there presumably will have the nicer packaging, and then as you get further away to places probably like the Toydarian or some of those will have more cheaper looking, quote-unquote, cheaper packaging. But you see here the droids have their own cool boxes that they come in. All right, the rest of these are just like clothing, and we'll go through these real fast. One is MousePIRE Outfitters. That's where you'll be able to shop for galactic styling for the entire family. There's mainly like different Star Wars inspired stuff, Jedi outfits, just casual outfits. There's like a Rey outfit. You can get a replica of Princess Leia's white dress from Star Wars. Over at First Order Cargo, you will be able to buy items from the First Order who are just recently arrived on Batuu. It is specifically the 709th Legion, a.k.a. the Red Fury. Some people are happy about it, apparently. Those who support the First Order can shop at the First Order Cargo near the TIE Echelon. As I mentioned, the new TIE that's going to be there. You'll be able to buy badges, flags, and wearables, which means First Order uniforms, apparently, as well.
Yeah.
Because they show this stuff. The flag is really cool. Over at the Resistance Supply, which will be presumably over near the Resistance base on the far left, you will be able to get Resistance. It's a makeshift shop. You'll be able to find merchandise emblazoned with the Resistance Starbird logo. Also, they'll have apparel such as the orange jacket that looks similar to from Empire Strikes Back, and it is actually made from blueprints from Lucasfilm archives.
That was pretty
so
cool.
they're pretty accurate to the movie. You'll know. Well, you won't notice because you haven't seen them yet. But anybody who has seen them may notice that a few of the offerings and the costumes and stuff look like costumes. Disney parks currently have regulations about costumes for adults. They're still finalizing how that will be handled for Galaxy's Edge. We have to assume that they're going to have to do some sort of what Universal does. Well, Universal's pretty easy to go as it is. They're not as picky with costumes. But
Disneyland didn't used to be either.
No, they didn't. But what I think they're going to have to do is just turn around and just say anything Star Wars is okay. As long as you're not wearing masks. As long as you're not, doing stuff like that. Or they can do one of those things where if it's sold in there, you can wear it. Or, I don't know. They're going to have to make an exception because there's obviously even probably going to be people that want to wear costumes opening day. They're just going to have to make an exception.
Yeah.
They're going to have to say Star Wars costumes are fine as long as you don't wear a mask. That's all. Or a cape. No capes.
No.
Well, capes have their own issues.
So there goes my Krennic. I can't do Krennic with the big long cape. But now the only problem I see here is one of the weird things about this is that you're not dressing like any characters, although you may if they sell Rey costumes and they still decide to have Rey or something. But the interesting thing here is that they appear to be selling costumes that are replicas of cast member costumes, which seems very odd. But moving on to the next thing, everybody, I don't know if everybody's had a chance to try it, but we've talked about it before, and we knew that hopefully there would probably be some sort of interaction with it, and that's the Disney Play app. Now, the Disney Play app will have the interaction with the with Galaxy's Edge, and Galaxy's Edge says the Galaxy's Edge is the first land designed from the ground up to integrate with the app. When you enter the world of Batuu, the Play Disney Parks app will switch modes using Bluetooth technology and location services and become a Star Wars data pad. So it'll switch from whatever it looks like now to something completely different based on location and Bluetooth. And it'll switch to being strictly Star Wars. The datapad has 4 tools to encourage to interact with Galaxy's Edge: Hack, Scan, Translate, and Tune. Hack will be able to let guests communicate with devices and droids around Galaxy's Edge to learn information and maybe into droids' memory banks. Scan is made for using the app to read and decrypt shipping labels around on crates and cargo in Batuu. So it'll be using kind of like QR scanning technology probably to do something like that, and things will have little Easter eggs. Translate will actually help guests read the Aurebesh and other unfamiliar writing carved or painted onto the walls, and or interpret alien spoken language, or like maybe the Ithorian language Doc Ondar of Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquity speaks. So somehow or another, maybe you could turn the app on and hold it up. I guess is what it's implying, that you'll be able to hold it up and it'll translate what Doc Ondar is saying for you. Like a universal translator.
Yeah, real quick, it sounds like, because on the Disney Play app, it's basically like the map of Disneyland. So it sounds like once you get in there, you're going to go to that app or that section, and that map of Disneyland's gone.
Right.
That's what it sounds like.
Right. And then the fourth function, Tune, which will function as an eavesdropping, essentially. Guests can align themselves with one of the 3 different factions: First Order, Resistance, or Scoundrels. Tune shows available transmissions that may be related to your faction or could just be villagers communicating. You might have to unscramble secret transmissions. The app also has jobs boards too, and the above tools will be helpful in completing them. In the Galaxy's Edge 2 attractions, Rise of the Resistance and the Smuggler's Run, you have 2 jobs available in each queue. The jobs will provide more context to complement the ride. For example, in the Smuggler's Run queue, you can learn to be a smuggler as an employee of Onaka Transport Solutions and acquire all the space pirate skills you need. If you want to enroll in a bigger stakes activity, you can play a land-wide game to hack door panels to either help the First Order or the Resistance. The First Order is planting surveillance cameras and the Resistance is trying to disable the cameras. The side with control of the most door panels wins, and players aligned with the side gets exclusive in-game digital rewards such as costume elements to upgrade your avatar. Guests can opt in as much or as little as they want, and they can play together. It can often be a one-and-done experience, or you can carry out jobs across multiple visits. Families or groups of friends can use a single app and sign up different participants so that everyone will have a role to play. Oh, and keep out for Easter eggs across the entire Star Wars galaxy while completing your missions.
Fun.
Woo!
Yeah. I think that's basically it about that. I think that's all I got to say about that.
We're not happy, but yet we're excited.
Yes, exactly.
Pretty much sums up being a Disney fan. Super excited, but not happy about it.
Yeah, it's a kind of our expectations are tempered by the fact that they've now announced there's only one ride, but it's really like.
I mean, imagine if you're not a pass holder. Imagine if you're not a regular visitor and
then you're probably one of those people that's bitching, I don't like Star Wars. Why do they ruin Disneyland with Star Wars?
No, I just mean that if you're gonna go and
then you have
experience
to
this
know
area,
that you're not going to be able to do it right away. You have to know those sort of things. You have to be realistic. People have to be realistic. I'm being realistic that I won't get in be able to go before summer.
Yeah, but you live right here. You can go.
You just can't go. I mean, you have to have reservations, and then you have to have a
what
pass.
What about
blackouts and
what about the DOS pass?
Oh, that is a good question.
They haven't mentioned that at all. I assume that DOS pass is going to be handled the normal way.
That's what I was thinking.
That it
too.
would be whatever the most extreme that the DOS pass is handled in the regular parks. Because what's basically the hardest place to use a DOS pass? Or is there any place that doesn't accept that you can't use it?
No, anything.
So what's the hardest place to use it?
I mean, it would
Racers.
make sense, I guess, if you
Not hardest, but the longest way to be racers.
I mean, if you go to the kiosk in the hub or wherever, and you say, "Okay, here I have a reservation. I got a 4 p.m. reservation to go into Galaxy's Edge or whenever your time is."
I mean, obviously the problem is that assuming that they're even going to have some sort of fast pass line or anything for these attractions, presumably if they are planning on adding Max Pass later, that they've actually designed a fast pass line or a DOS line or something into the ride. So that way people, because with these rides, it doesn't sound like something you can just go in through the exit, like some rides where you can just go through the exit and get on the ride. These are all going to be fully interactive experiences. With the Smuggler's Run, you got to go through and see a Hondo and all of the setup for the ride because everything has a story. Rise of the Resistance, you got to get on the shuttle and take the shuttle and then end up on the First Order base. It's all part of the story. So it's not like you could really skip too much. It's not like Guardians where you can go on Guardians. So you're going to go through the Fast Pass line, you're going to skip all the displays, but you're still getting the full story experience because that ride was already designed like that. Yeah. So hopefully if they're already have Max Pass in mind, that they're designing Max Pass / DOS lines into it. So here's hoping.
Right.
And all right, just to put a cap on the whole Galaxy's Edge discussion for now, there will be probably any other information that's going to come out of Galaxy's Edge will probably come out of the panel that was announced today. That will be in a month at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. And they are going to have a specific panel just for Galaxy's Edge. And presumably that's when you will find out. I'm going to guess that might be when we find out when Phase 2 opens. Or, because what else is there to know?
Right.
Why would they need a whole panel for Galaxy's Edge if they've already just done this big info dump? Or are they just going to be a rehash of everything we just talked about? Or is there going to be all brand new information? Are they going to have more information about the ride specifically? Or are they going to have information about when stuff's going to open and stuff? Like the Rise of the Resistance and all that are going to open? Or I don't know. Anyways, who's going to be at Star Wars Celebration? I don't know if anybody who listens to this podcast is going to Star Wars Celebration. Probably not. But if you are, definitely go to that panel. If there's anybody that's listening that is going to be there and you're going to go to that panel, email us, mousepire@gmail.com, And we would expect and hope for a full report on that panel from you. Otherwise, we all know that we'll be able to probably follow along live tweeting the panel of several different people on Twitter. So either way, we'll find out what happens in the panel, whether it's from you or whether it's on our own. We don't need you. Sorry, I got a little hostile there.
He's still mad about the Galaxy's Edge not
Yeah,
opening all the
no,
whole
it's
thing.
fine. No, seriously, though, if you guys...
He's still mad about the baby shark.
if anything's going, then anybody's going, we definitely would appreciate some sort of report about that. But other than that, that's it for Galaxy's Edge for now.
Woohoo! Moving on.
Moving on to...
Party!
Yeah, Disney Afternoon Party, 90s,
Or Disney After Dark.
Disney After Dark,
Disney Afternoon themed.
Disney Afternoon, 90s themed.
It was pretty cool. They had well, I was in line for a photo op. I was got there really quick, and well, we all know it was for Baloo.
Of course.
And I'm waiting in line, and of course, the cast members are saying, letting people know that they're not guaranteed to get Baloo because they switch out. And
Who else was there?
I believe it was Louie.
Yeah, he was switching out with Louie.
So
Because that was in Adventureland, I believe, right?
yes, right there where they park the strollers. So I'm waiting in line, and there's this guy in front of me, and he has an autograph book. I'm like, oh crap, I don't need this guy holding up Baloo for an autograph. And then there's a girl in front of me who was telling the cast member that she wanted to show Baloo her picture of her dog because her dog is named Mowgli. I'm like, I don't need this, I don't need these people, taking the time and then Baloo's going to leave because they took up my time. So I was just like, this better not happen.
So you chastised them publicly?
No, I would have if I missed Baloo, but I didn't miss Baloo. I got to take my picture, but before that, the cast member it was pretty cool. They moved the line pretty fast. They had about 4 cast members would come up to you. So if you're the 4th one in line, the 4th came up to you. Do you want me to take pictures for you too as well? Because they had the photo pass.
They pre-set it all up.
Yeah, but if you wanted them to use your phone, your camera, you give it to them, and then they walk up with you, and then boom. They're taking pictures, PhotoPass taking pictures, get in and get out. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So she was saying, what are you looking for most to this party? I said, I'm right here. This is why I'm here.
Just for Baloo.
Baloo, exactly.
Was he wearing his tailspin outfit?
Yes, he was. He was wearing the tailspin outfit, which was really cool. So that was my highlight on the night was that taking a picture with Baloo.
No.
So after that, you just went home.
I did.
I was a little surprised. So Baloo wasn't with the Tailspin actual photo op then.
No, there was no people
Characters
at the photo op.
So those backdrop photo ops that they had for the Disney Afternoon, those were all just that. That was it. Just the photo op with no characters.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So real quick, they had over in Fantasyland by It's a Small World. They had photo ops for Tailspin, DuckTales. They also had Gummy Bears, and what was the other
Rescue
one?
Rangers.
Rescue Rangers, that's right. So there was just photo ops, so you go, stand there and then you take a picture.
Similar to the photo ops they've had in the past for May the 4th or the Star Wars After Dark party last year. They had backdrops. They've had the one of Ray's speeder,
Right,
and stuff like that are kind of those 3D backdrops. These ones I would maybe compare them more with the 60th backdrops, because a couple of them I believe were forced perspective.
Yes.
So they were used kind of that forced perspective where you stand behind something, behind one part of the photo op, and then there's the rest of the photo op is behind you, but when you back up, it looks like it's all one photo op.
Yeah, it was really cool, but they also had a little game thing going on. So basically, you stand in line. Once you get up to the front or towards the photo op, then they stamp your little map. So you're completing this game thing or whatever it was. So I didn't do that. That wasn't important to me. But I mean, it was a pretty cool little thing they were doing. Of course, besides the Baloo and Louie, you had other photo ops. And of course, the lines were long.
How long did you wait?
Actually, they started early. They did start the photo op early. Party started at 9:00. I was in line at 8:30, and I believe
And you had been hovering around the area since 7?
No, because I was in the front for I don't remember where I was, and I believe at 8:45 is when Baloo came out. So because I didn't see him, but I heard everyone cheering and clapping. So I believe
Which is technically early because the party wasn't officially till 9, right?
Yeah. So he came out early, so they started the line early.
That's good.
I would say a little after 9 is when I finally got up there. So it wasn't that bad. It started moving pretty quickly. But they also had Mulan and Mushu over Critter Crunchy,
huh?
Country. I didn't go see them. I didn't go check that out.
Who was that?
Mulan and Mushu.
Oh, okay.
Of course, over.
I mean, they're barely 90s.
Yeah, no. And then over in Fantasyland, they had Belle and Gaston. They had Dark Green Duck and Don Carnage. Hercules was there with Hades and what's her name? Megara? Meg.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they had that. What else? They had Pocahontas and Miku was over there in Frontierland.
Why don't you tell us what the 2 biggest attractions were and what I heard had a 3-hour line?
Photo ops?
Yeah.
That would be, of course, Powerline.
Yeah, Powerline.
Goofy and Max.
Goofy and Max in their Powerline costumes probably haven't been pulled out since.
I've never seen that.
If they're not new, they probably haven't been out since the mid-90s, right after the Goofy movie.
Do you see a picture of?
No, I don't have it. But I believe, I've never seen that. I've never seen those costumes.
Yeah, there were people, I saw legit people. I saw legit like animators and comic people that stood in that line, and they talked about being in line for over 2 hours.
Wow. Well, I mean, because it's funny because they were, like you said, in Tomorrowland. And on the program guide, it said Goofy and Max. So it has no mention of Powerline at all.
You just assumed Goof Troop.
Yes.
Goof Troop costumes.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah, didn't have that, or didn't actually tell you that was Powerline. Later on, I didn't see it until after the fireworks. Someone showed me a picture, and I said, oh, that's pretty cool. But real quick, just the other.
Can't even find a picture. You search online Goofy Powerline costume, and all the pictures are either cartoons or cosplayers. You can't even find a photo on Google.
Well, if you go to Instagram.
Well, yeah.
All right, so the other real quick character that I actually took a picture was the monkeys from Fantasmic, which was really cool. They were out there. They even had one of the chairs. Oh, they had the King Louis chair out there that he sits on the Fantasmic show. So that was really cool. They had that right in front of the center of Rivers of America. So I got a picture with that. But yeah, they had a lot of character locations, a lot of character meet and greets. But I only did those 2. And of course, there was long lines for all the other ones. But, you did have a lot of people complaining because only 4 hours and you couldn't get everything done. But I mean, we already said, that's what's going to happen. And if that's what you're, want to do characters, then that's all you're going to do. You're not going to do anything else but stay in line for characters.
I hear somebody 2 hours for Darkwing and Don Carnage. 2 hours in counting, actually. Dang. Hope's fading. Then 1:10 a.m. Tomorrowland. My dearest Josiah, we are going to die in this line, all because we want to meet Powerline Max. We are barmy.
So are the
2.5 hours and a lot of rain later, we finally got to meet Powerline Max.
Dang.
Are people cosplaying as Powerline, or are those character hosts of some kind?
I can't tell you because I did not go over there.
Here's a picture of actual Powerline Max.
Right, no, I've got it here on Instagram, but what I mean is there's all these other people in Powerline outfits.
Well, probably because lots of people wore costumes to the party.
Okay.
Now, it's pretty cool because when we were over there in New Orleans or Nolans, whichever one with the front, they had a R&B group on the Mark Twain, and they were in the front of the
Interesting. Seems out of place.
Well, I was singing 90s songs.
Oh, okay.
So it was pretty cool, actually. And basically it was just like I think it was like all a cappella.
Oh, that's cool.
I think it was. I don't remember. I just remember I heard him sing. But over in Tomorrowland, good old Terrence, they had a band. They had a band, and I was like, whoa, the band is back. Well, kind of. But they had a band over there playing, of course, 90s music, which was really cool. So
I was trying to think, we never really had any bands that just played 90s music. It's not like it's 80s All-Stars
right.
Or anything. I mean, 80s All-Stars can play Ice Ice Baby. That was the only 90s song that they ever played.
True. But this 90s band is actually the people made up from Mad T, so it wasn't like a big deal or anything. But it was cool to hear some of the 90s songs played over there. Like I'm talking about alternative music, so that was really cool. And in the hub, they had DJ Wendy was doing a really good job over there. It was really cool. It was fun.
Chugga, fresh.
Exactly. And of course, they had Disneyland Afternoon After Dark fireworks.
Whoa!
Now that fireworks show was really cool because it was all the Disney Afternoon theme songs.
I've heard of the fireworks show as one of the more the better ones that they've done. We of course last year we heard from most people. I don't know about including yourself, but a lot of people that was like the best fireworks show that they had ever done, or something like that. But
I wouldn't say this is the best fireworks show they ever done. It was just cool because of the music.
Right.
That's all this fireworks was. It was about the music. It wasn't about the fireworks to me because it's basically the same old stuff.
Right.
And it's nothing new. And then they didn't even.
Yeah, you can't beat the music.
Right. So, but the one thing I was like iffy about, because they played the theme to Gummy Bears. They played
Gummy Bears.
They bounced here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
They also play the music to Tailspin. They played Darkwing Duck. They played Rescued Rangers.
Naturally.
But then they played the Powerline song.
I mean, it's not really Disney Afternoon, but it is related to the Goofy movie is sort of related to Goof Troop. And
I don't go for that.
It came out in the 90s. It was like 95 or something like that. Was Goofy,
but it's still not
movie.
Disney Afternoon to me.
No, it's not. But it is a 90s.
But it's called Disney Afternoon After Dark Fireworks.
Well, okay.
That's my point.
I know.
I'm not complaining about the music. That song is a cool song.
I mean, maybe whoever did it doesn't like the Goof Troop.
That's
theme.
what I was thinking.
I mean, I was always kind of partial. I used to sing the Goof Troop.
Yeah, me too.
So, I mean,
but you know what? It was cool. I mean,
I only want to know one thing: did they play Bonkers?
No.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. They drew the line. They drew the line in the sand.
And they didn't play the Gargoyles either.
Oh, yeah. See, although Gargoyles was technically never part of the Disney Afternoon,
but it came out later though. Like
right.
I mean, like,
but it was never part of the Disney Afternoon.
Yeah,
so I think that was But neither was Powerline. So
exactly. So let's just keep going. I'm just gonna say that, of course, we got our gift, the fanny pack, the Saved by the Bell fanny pack, and yeah, that's what we got. And then of course the AP Corner had the button for us, which was pretty cool looking button.
It's basically the fanny pack.
Yeah.
Tim will gladly pay anybody $50 for one right now. Who emails Tim MousePIRE at timfresh.com.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. I do want one of the buttons very badly.
He doesn't want a button, but it's not worth $50 to him.
Of course not.
So I'm just going to say real quick that this I went to the After Dark Star Wars event, and I mean I could care less about the Valentine's Day one. I'm pretty sure that this event was way better than the Valentine's Day one.
Oh, I can guarantee that in order of bestness, it would probably go just 90s Star Wars, and then probably somewhere between the Dapper and the throwback and the Valentine. Probably the throwback and then the Valentine's.
I agree with that. So that was my point. My point was that this event was way better than Star Wars event.
Now, speaking of the Valentine's real quick, I mean, you did talk about the Valentine's because Brittany went, right?
She did.
Yeah, and I mean, did that, I mean, I don't remember. Did you talk about that on the podcast?
I'm not sure. I just know that she got a lot of lines.
Yeah, so I mean, did just didn't seem like that a lot of those had very much going on.
Right.
As far as extra stuff. I mean, this one just seemed like it was jam-packed. It's the first one, even including the Star Wars one, that I'm sad I didn't get to go to.
Oh, okay.
So,
that means something.
yeah. So, the Star Wars one would have definitely been cool to go to, but I feel like I didn't miss a whole lot. I feel like I missed a ton.
Yeah,
this one. The only thing, me, I would have been frustrated if I wouldn't have been. I would have had to stand in line just to get for photo ops and stuff, and that would have frustrated me because I would have wanted to get all the photo ops. And
yeah, but that wasn't going to happen.
At least I would have had to be like that time when I wanted the picture with PJ, and his line was way too long, and we'll probably never see PJ again.
I never got over to Baloo again to see how long that line was, but I did go on Indiana Jones because they were giving away the decoder card.
Oh yes, they were giving out vintage 1994. 1995, back when it was sponsored by AT&T, and you got the little decoder card that had the key for deciphering the stuff on the wall, and then on the other side it had like a really nice painting of Indiana Jones, or it said something about AT&T on it.
Yeah.
But they gave out a replica of that had the decoder part on one side, and then it had the 90s party logo on the other side. So that was kind of a nice throwback. And nice of them to remember that Indiana Jones opened in the 90s.
Exactly, because then at the end...
It would have been easy for them to just gloss over that.
Yeah, so then we went on the ride, and then after the ride, we're walking out of the building and everything, and there's good old Indy out there saying what's up.
And that's another thing, too, is we ever seen an Indy?
I think he's been out there before.
Like
out there just talking, because basically he's in the queue line where it's, when it's busy.
Like where the truck is?
Yeah, he's in there, and he has a microphone, and he's just talking, walking around, talking. I think he's done that before.
I've never even heard of there being an Indy at the park. That's crazy.
So it was pretty cool to see that. I actually forgot all about that he was there, because when we got in line, he wasn't there. So obviously he was on break.
I know I had made a comment to you because you had sent me a picture of the program when you first got there, and I remember making a comment about, ooh, Indy's there. That's cool.
Yeah. So, it was pretty cool to see him. Started raining towards the end of the night. Right when we got out of Indy, because you said it was raining. We're talking about because real quick at the end of the party, when you walked out, they gave you a big old, what do you call that, lithograph thing, or
just like a
poster.
Nice card stock poster,
of Captain Marvel. So Anthony was telling me that that's what they're giving out. So I was like, that's pretty cool. And then he was saying it sucks because it's raining and it's going to get all wet.
But you were in the queue for Indy at the time when that was going on, and you were like, oh, I don't know, it's raining.
Right. I didn't know it was raining because I was inside the building. But when we walked out, I noticed the ground was wet, so it did rain, and it was barely sprinkling when we walked out. So it wasn't that bad. But then later on, it kind of came down a little bit, not heavy rain. So we were basically over in the hub partying over there with DJ Wendy, and it was really, really cool. It was fun. And so Anthony was lucky enough that I gave him that poster, and it didn't get any wet. Didn't get wet or anything at all.
No, very fortunate that you guys are all very fortunate that the rain that day decided to wait basically to the end. Because otherwise there would have been a lot of unhappy people standing in line for 2 hours.
Right.
Plus rain. Now, obviously, the people at the end of the night that were standing in line still all the way to the end, especially those power line stands, they were definitely getting a little bit rained on. But, I'm sure in the end, whoa, what just happened?
Things.
I got volumed. That, I'm sure it was worth it for them in the end to finally get those photographs. So
yeah.
Well, I'm glad everybody had a really good time. It doesn't seem like they're going to do much. They're ever going to probably try and hopefully not repeat anytime soon. So it'd be interesting if maybe next year or the year after, if they keep doing them. I don't know if once Galaxy's Edge opens, if the late nights thing's going to be a thing in the past. I wouldn't even be surprised maybe if next year they do a late night after dark that's in Galaxy's Edge would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would.
A Galaxy's Edge after dark, that would be kind of neat.
A year from now.
Yeah. So, but maybe like a 70s night or 90s or or I mean, they just did 90s, but 80s.
80s should be next.
70s. They basically did the 50s is what the one
Yeah.
last year was. So we've done 50s and 90s. Now you just got to fill in between. 70s would be interesting. You get a lot of bell bottoms and disco outfits and stuff. Or 80s, so it would be interesting. I don't really know what they could do special with the 80s because I mean a lot of they already did the 80s with the Disney Afternoon stuff. It's kind of late 80s, early 90s. So that's what I'm just thinking 70s because then you can do stuff with like maybe Splash Mountain and Space Mountain and rides that opened in the 70s and things like that. So we'll just have to wait next year and see what kind of ideas they come up with.
Yeah, so I
Isn't it next year now?
No.
Oh, you mean like 2020?
I'm talking about 2020 because we're already done with the After Darks for this year.
When we get to ride the other ride at Galaxy's Edge.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget the Marvel one's coming up.
Oh, yeah, we still have the Marvel After Dark coming up. Yeah,
2030.
Right. Yeah, no, so that one's still coming up. But, yeah, as far as next year, if they decide to do another Decades Night, that would be interesting. So
yeah, I had a great time. It was awesome. I loved the event. The 90s, they also had 90s music playing throughout the park.
Naturally.
Which was really cool. And I'm glad I went.
Cool.
Are you hungry? Well, they are. It's time for Fat Time in the Parks.
Did you have any fat time while you were there?
I did have Fat Time right when I was there. They had some Fat Time menus going on for 90s night, which was really cool.
Yeah, they're really cool, interesting things. Unfortunately, a lot of them, there was way too much stuff to actually be able to try it all.
Yeah, but I did my best to try it all. And the first thing I want to talk about
At least as far as desserts.
Right. All right, so the first thing I tried that they had was over at the Red Rose Tavern, Gray Stuff Shake. Basically, it was a cookies and cream shake with red pearls, whipped cream, and
was it delicious?
It was. It was really, really delicious.
As good as the Jack in the Box one? Because they've got the Oreo cookie shake nailed at Jack in the Box.
I don't know.
It's not really Oreo. It's cookies and cream.
Right. Anyway, this shake was really good. I enjoyed it. I give it a thumbs up, but it was only for that day, so who knows if we'll see that again. And, hey, they also had their version of the 90s Churropolis.
90s Churrogeddon.
Yeah, that too. So
now, I wouldn't be surprised before you go into those churros that they served that night. I wouldn't be surprised if we see those reappear, sometime maybe in the holidays or next year or something like that for some other theming. You never throw away an idea,
right?
Unless it's the maple bacon funnel cake.
Ooh.
Then they do have it for one day ever and never again. Screw you, Disney.
Yeah.
All right, so over at New Orleans Square, they had a ranch dusted toasted corn churro.
Now, I had seen something about that before. I know he knew about it because I'm sure he saw it on the thing before I asked you about it. I didn't. You had seen it already, or
probably?
And I was like, "Oh, did you see that ranch churro? I heard it tastes like Cool Ranch Doritos."
Right.
Interesting.
And I was wondering if he was going to go try it, and he was like, "Well, it's on the list." And I'm like, "Well, they're all on the list, I'm sure, but doesn't mean you're going to try them all."
Right.
Come to find out, it probably would have been better if you had tried something else.
Right. So when we were over waiting for the monkeys to take pictures with them, I went over to grab that churro, and it was too salty. It was just too salty.
So it didn't taste like Cool Ranch Doritos.
You know what? I think whoever said that is probably because it does taste like ranch, and whatever the corn stuff was on there was crunchy. So maybe they thought of that. But yeah, basically it's just like the ranch. You know how you can buy the Hill Valley Ranch, the seasoning salt type of thing.
Oh, right.
It's like that, and then the churros coating in that or whatever, and then whatever the corn chip toasted corn thing was. I didn't like it. I love ranch. I love Cool Ranch Doritos. I did not like this churro, and I would never, ever get this again.
Well, understandable if it's too salty. I mean, a lot of people, you know me, I don't even like pretzels because usually they're too salty.
Right.
So I could totally understand the whole being too salty thing.
Now, this other churro is what I should have tried instead of that one.
Yes.
Which was over on Main Street and was a churro with cherry pie dipping sauce.
Yes. That would have been on top of my list.
So then over at Frontierland, they had a PB&J churro. Now, real quick,
you were going back. You were kind of glad you didn't try the cherry pie one.
No, I didn't try. That's why
like
I
you said, that's the one you should have tried. Yeah,
instead of the ranch.
If anybody, I don't know if anybody else that listens to the podcast went to the party, the '90s party. If you guys did go and you tried the cherry pie churro, definitely email us mousepire@gmail.com and give us a food review on that.
Now, with all those gourmet, I guess churro gettins, they're up in price. The ranch was $5.25, I believe, around there.
Which isn't actually that bad considering they've been charging $6.25 for the ones with dipping sauce and shit.
So let's get back to this PB&J churro. It was $6.25, and it came with the dipping sauce because they had
naturally. It
did have a strawberry inside the churro, and then it came with a jelly and peanut butter dipping sauce.
So it was like PB and Double J.
Yes. Now, I'm not one to complain about price.
Whoa.
You're not.
But you'll understand why this really pissed me off.
Mark this moment, everybody.
Mark this moment. Churro is $6.25, and you expect to get what you normally get in a churro.
A normal, 15-inch?
Right.
Churros are about 15 inches usually, something like that?
Something like that.
15,
At least
18.
a foot long.
8 inches.
Right.
Definitely way longer than a foot long. So
this one was not even quite that
size.
size.
It was a short churro.
It was a short churro.
That's dirty.
For what purpose?
I
Why do you
don't
think
know.
it was small?
You know why I think it was that small? It's because the company who made that churro makes them that size. If you want the jelly-filled churro.
Oh,
because
it's
it was the
inside.
special. Yeah, so it was because it was the special jury.
Judy?
Yes. Because it was the special jelly-filled churro, that's why it wasn't the standard size.
Right.
And that's why you were paying extra for not only the jelly and peanut butter in your little dish, which is what you're usually paying the $6.25 for, but you're paying for the smaller churro with the jelly in it.
Bullshit.
Yeah. You would have probably rather had a regular normal sized churro with the peanut butter and jelly dipping sauce.
Now, see, I didn't know that the churro was going to be that small. I didn't even see it.
Until they handed it to you?
Yes.
Oh, so otherwise you probably would have skipped that one and
I
went
would
to
have
the
been
cherry pie.
You're right.
She said, where's the rest of it?
Well, I only, just to for the record, I only had a taste of it because, I wasn't going to eat, the ranch one and then have this churro, so I just had a taste of it.
So to complain about the size of it is really
And then you took it
pointless.
No, because he still took it. And
I
ate
still
it.
paid for it. What do you mean pointless? I still paid for the damn thing.
But if you're not going to eat it.
No, he took it home.
No,
I
it was my
assume.
brother's.
Oh, your brother.
Oh.
So anyway, yeah, it was.
I forgot he was there.
So it was not quite the size we're used to. It sucked, and $6.25 for that was not worth it at all. So I should have tried the cherry pie.
So just a note, folks, that if we ever talk about a new addition to Churrogeddon, whether it's coming up in summer or holidays or whenever, if we talk about one that's filled, be wary. Be wary, folks. It might be small, and you might be overcharging for not enough churro. Not enough length.
All right, so another one I didn't try was over at Stage Door Cafe. It said savory corn churro.
That sounds good.
Not sure what it had or how that tasted or anything.
Tastes like corn.
Probably. All right, well, that's enough of that. I was really disappointed in that peanut butter and jelly churro. Wasn't really happy with what I got, but oh well. It tasted good, though.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. All right, so real quick, what's in the parks whenever I went? Don't remember when it was. Oh, yeah, I was in the parks on Sunday for Michael's event, the Superhero Day, and had some fat time over there. I tried the peanut butter and caramel parfait, and that was over at the Golden Dreams booth, right over by the restrooms heading into the Redwood Challenge Trail, whatever you call it. All right, so So yeah, it's actually called the chocolate peanut caramel parfait. It's $5.50, and it is very, very tiny. It's like a shot glass. So yeah, there we go again with the prices and getting small items. It was really good. I loved it. They also put a sea salt on top. They asked me if I wanted. I don't know if every cast member will ask you if you want it or not, but they asked me. I said yes. Really, really good. And the cool part was they had real peanuts in there, so it was crunchy. Also, I like it. I mean, if you guys want to spend $5.50 to get a shot of this, try it. It's really good.
Or better yet, if you have a Sip and Savor pass and you've already spent 6 or 7 of your tickets on high-priced $6 or $7 items, feel free to splurge and get yourself one of those for basically nothing.
Right. I can guarantee I'm not going to get this again, even though it was really, really that good. And then the next thing I got was the Yippee Mickey's Cotton Candy Soda, which is non-alcoholic. Sprite Cotton Candy Premium Syrup, half-rimmed buttercream with a pineapple cotton candy garnish. Now that's $7. It was pretty good, but it would have been, and everyone, Dan said this, and I had other people say the same thing, that it would have been better with vodka in it. Yeah, they put buttercream around the rim of the glass and put these Mickey Mouse confetti things on there.
Yeah, before you had even told me you had tried it, Dan had sent me a picture about him trying it, and I know he's going to talk about it in his email in a little bit. But he sent me the picture of it, and I'm like, what the hell is that shit around the rim? I'm like, because it's just like caked on there. It looks very sloppy.
It's sloppy.
It's like somebody was trying to rim a margarita glass, but they don't know what they're doing, and they like licked all over the glass, and it just stuck all over the glass. And then there's a straw sticking out with what looks like a big cotton ball thing, but come to find out, I guess it's cotton candy.
Yeah, it's cotton candy, but it's not even a straw. It's just a stick.
Oh, it's not even a straw. It's just a stick.
Yeah, you don't get straws anymore. Remember?
Oh, right. Well, it could have been a paper straw.
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, it's $7. It's pretty good. I mean, I suggest you try it if you
$7 though for a drink.
That's why you get
with
the
no
Sip and
alcohol.
Savor pass. Exactly.
Exactly. That's why you get a Sip and Savor pass, so that way you feel better about spending. You're not really spending the $7.
Yeah.
I
So
don't think Sip and Savers count towards alcohol.
That's not alcohol though. It's just a regular drink.
Oh,
I said it would be worth it if it was alcohol, but it's not alcohol. $7 for a non-alcoholic.
So it's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. $7 for a non-alcoholic drink. That seems crazy. Because if they were selling it with alcohol, it would be like $13. So
we got a surprise a couple days ago, well, maybe 3 or 4 days ago. They've re-announced the Steamboat Willie popcorn bucket,
the atrocious popcorn bucket.
but this time it was hand painted. Supposedly,
It was hand edited,
yeah, it was hand something.
hand sanitized.
I don't know what they did, but it wasn't much. They were still a little scratched. Maybe not as bad as the first time. I think what they did, this is my opinion. This is not confirmed fact, but my opinion is what they did is they pulled out all the really bad ones from the boxes, and maybe Disney required somebody from the factory to come out, and they might have given them maybe like an airbrushing or something, that same paint, but just to cover up a blemish or two.
Now we got confirmation that the popcorn buckets that were released the first time did not sell out. They were just pulled from the parks because of everyone complaining because of scratches and all that kind of markings that they were being left on the buckets. So those buckets were pulled off stage and put back in boxes, and we don't know what happened to them. And then Disney...
some taggers came along and spray painted them.
Yes, the taggers came along as Disney requested for them to come. So Disney basically just re-announced that the Mickey Steamboat Willie popcorn buckets, and they use the phrase hand-painted popcorn buckets, were going to be available. And
Because as if the other ones weren't hand-painted, apparently.
Right.
They were machine painted.
So
even better.
So the the last month popcorn bucket was already done for APs to get their refills, and then this one was coming out. People were asking, "Hey, if we get the last one, can we get refills on these?" And Disneyland AP said no, they weren't going to be able to do the refills on that. So when I saw that, I thought, okay, well, these buckets have to be different in some way. So the cast
you
members
naturally
will know.
assumed that maybe these ones would come with the proper paint job on them, with a clear coat of some sort, whether they're gloss paint or whatever. Exactly. Wrong.
So then Disneyland AP went and said, they got the wrong information.
They backed it up.
And that if you have the first ones, if you bought them the first time, you can get the refills up until April, whatever it is. I don't know. So if you have the very first, if you bought them the first time they came out, you can get your refills on that for $1. And these ones are basically the same. Nothing changed on them as far as I've been told. So
they still get scratched up. Apparently, they're still the same dull matte paint,
and the strap does come out still. So, yeah.
What day is the refills going till this time?
I don't know. I don't remember. It was April something.
Did they not say, or
I don't remember what it said.
First week of April, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's not even that long then.
No, it's another month.
No, it's not even a month because they just came out today. That's less than a month if it's April 1st.
No, I said the first week of April.
Well, that's still not a month because we're in the second week of March.
Is it?
Is this the second week of March or is what? What was your question?
Is it the second week of March?
Yeah, because today's the 11th. Today's the 12th. That's the second week in March. Actually, technically, well, yeah, it's the second full week of March. So, I mean, if you're talking about that they're not going to be, I mean, we're going to verify. I'm going to see if we find the post. And yeah, it says now available until April 5th. So, yeah, literally not even like 3 weeks, something like that. That's just, because when did these come out? They came out today. So, yeah.
So great if you got one of the first batch. Because then you're getting two whole months.
Right.
Whatever.
Then yeah, if you got one from the first batch, then you're getting the accumulated time.
The 5 weeks plus the 3 weeks. But
now, if you were to buy it now, you're literally basically you better go every day or something. No.
I mean, they're not priced higher than. I mean, not much higher than they probably would be anyway.
No, but you still have to probably go 4 times to pay for it.
Oh, to pay for it?
To pay for the price of the $20 or whatever it is.
5.
You have to go like at least 5 times
trips,
to cover the whole amount of the popcorn. So
4 1/4 or something for popcorn, right?
Right.
So it's that'd be you'd come out $1 ahead at 5 refills.
Right. So good luck to everybody who hasn't gotten theirs yet. Or
now to clarify with the I told you so's, this is the same batch of buckets. The boxes are the same. The you guys don't do math on the boxes are the same.
Exactly.
So, and my opinion is that unless they've pulled a ton of these as an unsellable, this batch will last longer. The first batch, I think in my opinion, they sold maybe 10 of the 35,000. They've probably got another 25K, or let's say they pulled 5 of them as unsellable. They've probably got twice what they had the first time. These might last through Thursday. That's, again, my opinion. It'll already be Thursday by the time you've heard this.
I just want to make a point that I was told I only had to take math up to the 10th grade.
Exactly.
All right, so moving on. If you guys want to get the next popcorn bucket, go ahead and do that and have fun with those.
Speaking of the popcorn buckets, did we already announce that the mini bucket was out, or is that something that's coming out? Or
been out and gone.
Yeah, I don't even remember announcing that it came out. Did we?
I don't remember either.
The mini bucket came out. It's gone.
It must have been when we were on break.
Oh, probably. So if you missed it, fear not though, because supposedly the Mickey bucket that never came out is supposedly still coming. That it's already been released. Tim says in Florida, and that we'll get it sometime. Yeah, keep an eye out for that, and you can just start praying to the gods that the Steamboat Willie bucket will still be there when you go, whenever you go, if you haven't gone by now.
They'll be sold out by the time you hear this.
Yeah, sucks for you.
All right, so we talked about announcements over for Star Wars Celebrations, how they're going to make more announcements of whatever might be coming up and whatever. But we got some information that we might get an announcement at D23 for Tomorrowland. We've been
Really?
talking about, Tomorrowland needs to be updated and all that stuff. So they might be making an announcement this year for D23 or at D23 for Tomorrowland, going into a big old update. So that's something I heard from a very, very reliable source that got it from actually some Disney people. So
Now, we do know that certain things that we're dealing with Tomorrowland have been delayed or put on back burner. We know that this past year they had talked about, we talked about before that they were going to take the rocks formations there at the entrance to Tomorrowland out, but instead they decided to do the brickwork on Main Street. So basically they forego the Tomorrowland to do the brickwork. You have to figure that the Tomorrowland, getting rid of fixing the entrance to Tomorrowland has to be a priority for them, maybe for next year or in the years to come, and that idea hasn't been totally abandoned. So you have to figure that that's one of the things that they have to be talking about with Tomorrowland, hopefully.
So yeah, stay tuned for that. And of course, if we have any more information on that, we'll let you guys know.
I did think it was interesting that in the info dump on Galaxy's Edge that there was a very specific note and section about assuring that Star Tours would not be going anywhere and that it would be remaining open in Tomorrowland for the foreseeable future. So I thought it was notable that they did make a point of saying that, as if there was any doubt or, anybody who had been making rumors about Star Wars Tours closing would obviously have been stupid. So, yeah. So Captain Marvel came out this last week, and despite all of the stupid whiny boys, despite all of the stupid people that don't know how to read, despite all the stupid people with whatever their excuses are for being jerks, despite all the stupid people that claimed they weren't going to go see the movie still did amazing. The movie was amazing. We're not going to talk about the movie today because we're running short on time, but provided Tim is here next week, all three of us will give our maybe only semi-spoilerific reviews next week for Captain Marvel. Until then, I just want to talk about that. It was really cool on, I believe, Friday it was, that some theater in, I believe, in the Sacramento area, Brie Larson actually showed up to a theater. She appeared and with a drink and popcorn in hand, and went in front of one of the showings before one of the showings of the movies and spoke to the people in the movie. And then she also went behind the counter in the concession stand and helped out behind the concession stand and did selfies with employees and stuff, and was just basically a wonderful person, despite what all the man babies may think about her.
I don't hear any of these horrible things you're talking about.
Which is odd because you spend so much time on social media. You had to be living in a cave not to hear it, or subjective observations.
I'm going to go with that.
Possibly a little bit of both. I mean, it's very easy if you don't follow the right kind of people that you're not going to see it.
Yeah, they don't post about that stuff in the popcorn bucket group.
Why not?
No. All right, so despite all of the negativeness that Tim never heard about, Captain Marvel did go higher, faster, and further than all of any other quote-unquote female-fronted film before it. Some people have made the argument that the Force Awakens, Rey is the main character, but I would like to argue that that's just basically considered an ensemble film.
Yeah.
And in the cases of billing, Harrison Ford most likely had the top billing for that movie and would be considered the star. So the movie, like I said, is it earned $153 million over the U.S. box office weekend. That includes Thursday night. It became the biggest worldwide opening of all time for a female-fronted film. It was the second largest comic book gross opening ever. And I believe it was the 6th largest opening of all time, or something like that. There was several different records that went along with it that I don't necessarily have all of them in front of me, unfortunately. Like I said, it did do $153 million domestically, beating out basically everything. The next closest thing was How to Train Your Dragon at $14 million. And the movie that everybody, all the whiny fanboys were trying to get everybody to go see instead, despite the fact that none of them seemed to care about the movie a month ago when it came out, Alita Battle Angel, made
That was a
only...
great movie, too.
Yeah, I've heard it's a great movie, but all of the whiny fanboys were trying to, despite not caring about the movie when it first came out, were trying to get everybody to go see it instead of Captain Marvel. Well, that didn't work because it made a whole $3,200,000 on the weekend.
Oh.
So it made basically $150 million less than what Captain Marvel did on the weekend.
Keep in mind, Alita Battle Angel came out 3 weeks prior.
Well, that's the whole point I was trying to make, is that they didn't care about the movie 3 weeks ago, and then they all of a sudden cared about it when it suited their narrative.
Right. But Alita did all its money weeks ago.
Yeah, Alita would have done all its money regardless. So yes, it did really well. I forgot to mention that it also did, not only did it do the $153 million over in the U.S., it also did $455 million worldwide. As I said, it was the biggest worldwide opening ever for a female-fronted film. And as I said, the second largest comic book opening gross ever. That's worldwide as well. And so it's basically only, I think, like the only other movie to do better than that was, and it made $500,000, I believe, was Black Panther. Or was it Infinity War? It was one of those two. So the movie did really well, basically sticking it to everybody who didn't want it to do well. So screw all of you and higher, further, faster, baby.
Yeah, and you can go higher, further, faster over at DCA Meet Captain Marvel, because her photo op finally opened today, which was supposed to open on Friday.
Yeah, she was there on Friday, starting on Friday, but she had a little temporary logo photo op off to the side, attached to the little the building where you can buy drinks and stuff.
Yeah,
but they had the few days delay on getting her actual cool photo op, and I have to say it did open today on time when they said it would, and it is probably the most elaborate photo op that they've ever, or presumably temporary photo op that they've ever done, because they've taken, now we know why they referred to it as Hangar 17.
Well, that's what that building's called, though, too.
No, it's called Stage 12.
Wow.
But they've referred to it as Hangar 12. And I couldn't figure out why they were referring to it as that, other than just maybe being a tie-in to the movie. But now it's became plain, because basically the two big large doors that go into that stage, which is the one on the far right when you go into Hollywood Backlot, that they've actually opened the doors and they've put like a cling on them to make them look like the doors leading out of the hangar in the movie, in the shots where you see her walking out, and then like in the movie poster. And then they've taken a mock-up of a F-15 fighter and have it, the nose of it sticking out of the front of the hangar.
It's a 15?
I assume it's an F-15. I mean, that's what she's flying in the movie, is F-15s. So, yeah, so it looks pretty cool.
Yep, so you can go over there and check that out. When I was there on Sunday for Superhero Day with Michael, we took a picture with Captain Marvel, and I was over there at the temporary photo spot, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, you can go over there now and go and get your photo on.
All right, from higher, further, faster, baby, to a whole new swirl. Oh, wait, no, a whole new world. Yes, people complaining for months about Aladdin. People complaining that the genie was not blue enough. Then they were complaining that the genie was too blue. Then they were complaining that he was too Will Smith.
Now they're saying they copped out of the blue. Did they not do the blue after all?
So, despite the fact that I've been excited since the very first trailer and before the very first trailer, and I have had really no complaints about anything necessarily.
I'm officially excited now.
that's pretty much the consensus, is that anybody who was worried about this movie seems to not be worried anymore, thanks to the trailer that dropped early this morning. Mm-hmm. I assume this is the basically the final of the full length, the full length final trailer. Other than probably we'll start getting TV spots and stuff soon. But this was the major full length trailer, and the consensus is a lot, most probably at least a good half of people that had a problem with the movie before seem to have had their fears allayed. I think the whole thing about all of a sudden he's not blue is stupid. They just chose that this trailer just happens to have a lot of shots of him not blue.
It has both,
but it does have both, which is why I don't understand why people are trying to backpedal, because that's all people ever try to do. Let's check it out.
Checked it out.
They're over there! Get them! Stop! Please! You three, get back here! She's on the roof!
You stumbled upon an opportunity. I can make you rich. Rich enough to impress a princess.
What would I have to do?
There's a cave of wonders. Bring me the lamp.
O great one who summons me, I stand by my oath, loyalty to wishes 3.
I'm kidding. Watch this.
Watch out! You done wound me up. You ain't never had a friend like me.
Hey, can you make me a prince?
There is a lot of gray area in Make Me a Prince. I could just make you a prince.
Oh, no.
Y'all see my palace?
You look like a prince on the outside. But I didn't change anything on the inside. Showtime.
No, I'm in charge, okay? I say when it's time. Really? I thought a princess could go anywhere.
Not this princess.
Do you trust me? Don't you dare close your eyes. Hold your breath, it gets better. I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. Let me share this whole new world with you.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm so happy they didn't screw with the music too much.
A couple highlights I like that the shot of Pooh in the air grabbing the lamp is really cool. The shot of Jasmine's kind of spinning all sassy and just with her kind of flinging her her hem. I don't know if it's towards the end. She turns around all sassy.
And again, thankfully they didn't screw with the music too much.
And I got to get used to Jafar not having a deep voice. I still got to get used to that. I think I could deal with it. He's a little less high-pitched than he sounded in the second trailer that everybody was complaining about.
A little less, but still Aladdin's got a much deeper voice than he does.
Right, so that's what I mean. It's just going to take some getting used to. I mean, it may be fine in the context of the movie. Which
there's going to be all these memes and stuff with where he's got a voice.
But I 100% dig that when the genie comes out that he's all talking like this and high and all powerful, and then he got into the just messing with you. I thought that was very funny.
Just kidding.
Now, besides the trailer itself, and the whole bit about make you a prince is hilarious because I totally would have seen that if they had done that joke back with Robin Williams, that he would have conjured a animated prince.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And it wouldn't have been as funny as the Prince joke on Animaniacs, but the fingerprints joke on Animaniacs.
I don't remember that.
Oh, somebody tells Dot to fingerprints, and she's like, "No, I don't think so." And Prince is right there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of those most dirty jokes that ever got by the censors, probably in the 90s. But anyways, I don't know if you guys saw that they, besides the trailer coming out, that later in the day, they announced who's the voice of Iago.
I like that guy.
And it's our old friend Tudyk.
Yes.
Who apparently can't not be in anything. So, we got, as cool as it would have been to have had the return of Gilbert Gottfried, Tudyk is definitely a acceptable substitute because he's always an acceptable substitute for just about anybody.
Yep.
So very, very exciting. That, of course, comes out May 24th. I just want to talk about real fast. We got Dumbo coming up at the end of this month. Some lucky people, jerks, all of them, got to be treated to a little thanks to Mr. Tim Burton being in town for yesterday's press day for Dumbo. Some lucky jerks got to get autographs and talking to from Tim Burton over at the sneak peek of the sneak peek at the Opera House for the Dumbo sneak peek.
Yeah,
Disneyland.
Yesterday was the premiere for Dumbo.
Right,
the Hollywood premiere.
And or yesterday afternoon was the the presser. But what was that? Sunday, I believe, was the
Sunday.
Sunday when Tim Burton sat at the.
No, it was Monday.
Yesterday was Monday.
I was there at the park Sunday, so it wasn't the day I was there.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was yesterday, way before the.
Yeah, I think
the presser then.
Something like that. Anyway, he was
the
there.
presser was in Anaheim. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, he was there, sitting at the exit. He had actual promotional cards with that photo, the very first photo of him inside of the Casey Jr. train, sticking his head out. They had that picture with it said Dumbo on it, and he was actually doing autographs and giving those to people. He was there for maybe an hour. So, jerks. All of you who got one. Just real fast, that also at that same voice broke a little bit there. Told you I was having
Welcome
some issues.
to adulthood.
I know, right? Took me until 45. Shit. At the same shareholder meeting where the dates for Galaxy's Edge were announced, they also Iger also announced the big announcement that Disney Plus, the upcoming Disney streaming service, would contain, and obviously this is a general quote, every Disney movie in the vault, and that it basically would close the vault. I think the word
crazy.
The word, definitely the term, the mentioning the vault was definitely used.
It's crazy only because people are still going to want to buy these movies, I'm sure.
As far as the vault, the idea is that movies that presumably have never been on video or are not available on video currently that are in the vault will be basically brought out of the vault, and they will be available to watch.
They're
Movies
busting open the vault.
Now, just one other thing of note that I just want to mention as far as live action movies and some of the old animation that we know from the past, and like things like Wednesdays with Walt and things like that from back in 2015, that there are movies that have been remastered that haven't been put on any kind of video, and now we think we know why those movies were being remastered. Because we went and saw... Wait, were you there, or did I see about myself? Darby O'Gill?
I was there.
You were there.
Yeah.
We saw the whole thing about Darby O'Gill and the Little People,
Mm-hmm.
and they talked about how they had remastered it, and then right after that, it came on Turner Classic Movies for Treasures from the Disney Vault, and it was a 100% completely remastered version, sharp, clean looking. It was definitely an HD version of Darby O'Gill and the Little People, and we know that a lot of those older movies and that are being remastered and things like that and have appeared on Treasures from the Disney Vault, that all of those lesser known live action movies should appear on there as well, and even stuff like Black Hole, Cat from Outer Space,
Song of the South.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, let's just temper our expectations as far as that goes.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be the one movie in the whole entire Disney vault that does not get put on there. But
you think they'll have the Donald Duck Nazi propaganda films?
Well, yeah, you can get those on DVD.
Wow.
They're on the Victory Through Air Power DVD tin set. So, and I think they're also on the Donald set. One of the Donald sets, I think they're also in there. So, we'll just have to see what happens. I hope this is going to be, not only is this going to include all the movies in the vault, but you know me, I'm hoping that all of the Disney animated catalog, as far as the animated shorts, are going to be hopefully released as on there as well. You know me, although I'm going to temper my expectations because I will still maintain that Disney does not care about their classic cartoons. But, prove me wrong, Disney jerks. Just another thing real quick that was kind of rumored today. It came from Slash Film, so we don't know how accurate the information is, but I'm hoping it's accurate. And that's a rumor that another animated show for the Disney Plus app is going to be based on the old What If Marvel comic books. There was a whole line of What If comic books that were in the 70s and then again in the 80s, and they were basically like, what if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four? What if Punisher killed the Marvel Universe? What if Wolverine killed the Marvel Universe? What if Jane Foster became Thor? Basically, just all kinds of different.
Weird
I think they even had like a special edition one that was what if I don't remember. It had something to do with Rick James. That's all I know. So it was a really cool series. It was kind of like basically an alt version of stories.
I was a big fan of the DC version, the Elseworlds.
Oh yeah, it was basically
I have a whole collection of Elseworlds.
It was basically, but they were more outrageous than that. They were more outrageous.
The what ifs were more outrageous.
What if
DC's versions were like, what if Superman's ship had crashed in Gotham and was found by Bruce Wayne's parents,
something
and he
like
became
that.
Bruce Wayne. Or
Whereas,
what if Superman landed in his craft landed in the jungle and he was raised
right.
by wolves?
But so this is similar to that, but that'll be if that actually ends up being something, that'll be something to look forward to because I always liked those comics.
They're saying that what's going to be based on the what ifs?
It's going to be an animated series based on the what ifs.
That's cool.
But that's just a rumor right now. We'd have no direct confirmation of that. This will be totally standalone from the MCU. It won't be connected to the MCU. It would just be totally just what ifs that are alternate things. So that'll be really cool. All right, and finally, we've been waiting for it for a long time now. The day is coming, is upon us. The Fox deal is going to be complete in 8 days from now. Next Wednesday, the Fox-Disney merger will be complete. Everything that you can imagine will start moving forward at that point.
That's March 20th.
Yes. It's all gonna start happening.
Your wildest dreams will become a reality.
I'm going to give a couple of quick predictions right now that at D23, not only will we get the announcement of at least half of Phase 4 of MCU, which as of right now, the only thing we know is Spider-Man Far From Home. That's the first movie of Phase 4. We don't know anything else about Phase 4. We just have a bunch of dates. I predict we will find out at least half of Phase 4, and we will find out what the very first Fox Marvel characters, what used to be the Fox characters, will be, whether it's X-Men, Fantastic Four, or whatever else.
Well,
So,
they're going to you've got
There's
Dark Phoenix coming out.
Well, those are separate. Those are still
totally separate storylines.
Those are still the last of the Fox movies. Dark Phoenix, and if they ever get New Mutants out, those are going to be the last two ever of the Fox. You can expect that all of those, presumably all of those roles will be recast if any of those characters ever move over to the MCU. I could think of at least 2 or 3 characters that might be obvious contenders to come over to the MCU immediately if they wanted to do some retconning. One would be Magneto, because Magneto is Scarlet Witch's father.
I will argue that those characters in this new version, the Dark Phoenix version of the series, are young enough that they may not need to be recast.
It depends on if they want to create a separation between the Fox stuff and the MCU. If they don't want to create a connection, then they want to recast completely.
Wouldn't it make sense for them just to kind of seamlessly merge them?
No, because then you have too much continuity that they have no control over that's already happened.
Oh, if they want to have completely new stories.
Because the continuity of Dark Phoenix is really, really screwed up anyways, because
they're pulling from
Well, because
10 different.
Well,
things
yeah,
for comic
because
books,
I mean, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But no, we'll see what happens. I have other predictions I'll make later on, but yes, next Wednesday. By the time, be right before we're actually about to record next week. The Fox merger will
is there
be
any chance
complete.
that it could all fall through?
No, because it's done.
It's a done deal.
We were just waiting for overseas approvals. That's basically what's going to happen. That's why it's basically done. They're just picking the date that it's going to be official. Gotcha. Where probably they're going to have an official ceremony where there's going to be a couple signatures or something.
If you were rooting against it, you're screwed.
If you're rooting against it, you lost a long time ago.
You're done.
So sucks to be you. Give it up. Back it in. Let's begin.
Let us begin.
Yeah, then we just need to go to Tim's favorite part of the show.
The mail?
Yes, the part you like to introduce the most.
All right.
Our first email is from Wreck-It Rachel. Woo! Her subject line is thank you.
You're welcome.
You don't know what she's thanking you for.
I'm being polite.
She says, hey guys, I don't have a lot to say this week. I haven't seen Captain Marvel yet. And I just wanted to say thank you for being a podcast that supports everyone. It is so nice to hear a group of dudes telling crying man babies to shut up and FTFO.
Yeah.
As a woman, it's nice to hear every week. So thank you. Love, Rachel.
Woo! Applaud you, Rachel, for listening to us crying man babies.
No.
Wait, we're not the crying. No. Wait, I'm just.
I mean, you might be a little bit, but I mean, I'm not.
That was a really cool email.
You're only a man baby about Fantasmic and Pirates of the Caribbean.
And popcorn buckets.
Yeah.
All right, next email is from Dan the Mailman. Subject line is mixed fat time. Uh-oh. Hey, MousePIRE, went to the parks again and experienced some fat time in the coat. Fat time in the coat.
Whoa, actually, fat time little coat.
Actually, no, mine was quite large. Whoa.
Oh my. TMI.
Went to the Food and Wine Festival and tried the strawberry float. Delicious stuff. Only got a taste since, ice cream, but it was really good. And my kids enjoyed it. Over to LA Style for some barbacoa tacos. Now the barbacoa my dad makes is really juicy and in the sauce. This was just the meat minus any kind of sauce. Now the meat was tender, but because I am used to it with juice, it came off as a little dry to me because that's not what I'm used to. Now I was telling Dan that I'm used to the same way it being juicy. So I don't know if I would like this if it's just dry. I had my doubts on the pickled ginger, but let me tell you, the slightly tart flavor along with having its own juice mixed in with the barbacoa, man, oh man, give me 4 more. Whoa, not bad then. Thoroughly enjoyed these and I will get them again. Rode in Incredicoaster and then on my way to have Mickey's drop his latest mixtapes, stopped at the Golden Dreams for the cotton candy soda. That's the one we talked about earlier. The look of it intrigued me, and it was total impulse buy.
Buy.
No, a buy.
Buy.
No, not that buy.
Buy.
To purchase.
Adios.
Okay, of course, we talked about it with Sprite, cotton candy syrup. They weren't too heavy-handed with the syrup, which I thought worked since too much would have been overkill on the flavor. The buttercream rim stayed on better than I thought it would, and the pineapple cotton candy was just okay, exactly. Just sugar on a stick. Good drink would have been better with alcohol. But the $7 price is a little steep for what it is, but it sure did look pretty. Watch the mixtape from Small World this time. There was never a huge crowd over there, but someone always manages to have a damn balloon and stand right in the middle. But other than that, the show was great.
If you want to borrow my blow dart gun, I have one. You just got to sneak it in.
He said Sup totally enjoyed it and got his little groove on. His son. That's funny. There seemed to be an excess of snow during Tim's favorite part. Let it go.
Let it go.
Hardly paid attention to the fireworks. As I said before, this show doesn't really need them. I prefer the view better from over here. A quick ride on Buzz and then back to the bus. Overheard a cast member telling another one that they were finally putting restrooms over in the lot, and I inquired as to where, since there are essentially two different loading zones, and it would either have to be centralized or have two separate buildings, and you can guess their answer. They didn't have one.
Yeah, of course not.
Okay, we did mention that last year that we heard that they were going to put restrooms over there. But yeah, we'll see when that happens. So we will see. As Diggs knows, a dream is a wish your heart makes.
Lies.
Not sure what plans are for the next weekend, and I'm out of town next week, so just be a quick email then to keep my title since Rachel is creeping up.
Uh-oh.
Spring break in 2 weeks, so unless you plan to take another unplanned break, hope to see you then. Dan out.
Adios, Senor Dan.
Well, I don't know what's going on in 2 weeks, Dan. I don't know if we'll have to take an unscheduled break or whatever, but yeah, of course, you are welcome over here anytime. And, well, you know what? In those 2 weeks' time, we probably get his perspective on Captain Marvel.
Right.
Tim's falling asleep. So that's it for emails. If you guys have any questions, comments, your own tip of the week, if you guys want to tell us what you thought of Captain Marvel, all you have to do is email us.
MousePIRE@gmail.com.
And that's what she said.
Do you have a special occasion coming up? Looking to personalize your trip with a keepsake? Create customized buttons for birthdays, engagements, family vacations, even bridal parties, or just because. Check out buttonsbydiggs.com today. Buttons by Diggs, Buttons by Diggs. Remember, those are buttons, not pins.
That's going to do it for this edition of the MousePIRE podcast. Wake up, Tim. Don't forget to head over to DCA, go to Hangar 12, and check out Captain Marvel and her fighter jet.
Yeah, higher, further, faster, baby.
Yes. And don't forget the Food and Wine Festival going on. So you guys can go over there and try the Yippee Mickey's Cotton Candy Soda.
Or don't.
Yeah, $7. Or don't even try that peanut caramel chocolate parfait. That's just a waste of money. But you can try it if you want. Whatever. I don't care what you do.
Do what you want.
It's your
Shit.
money. That too.
I think I'm going to not go at all and save myself the $50.
Probably. My biggest complaint with this food and wine is it just seems to be a lot of the same shit.
Well, that's pretty much the case every time.
No,
It's
there's at least usually like
80% the same crap.
Nah, I don't know. This is the first time where it seems like it's a lot higher percentage of the same crap. The only thing that I really saw that I would like to try, and if anybody out there ever does try it, I would like to hear your review of it, even though I probably still won't try it. And that's the pizza egg rolls that are at the beer and wine booth.
Pizza egg rolls.
Yeah, they have pizza egg rolls. They're like legit looking egg rolls. They're not like some Totinos or something. They're some legit looking egg rolls. And they sell, the problem is they sell them, you know how there's always the one booth that sells alcohol only, and it's always the one that on the weekend has the longest line? It's at that booth. It's the only food that's at that booth, literally.
So basically, it's like the same people that went to see Tim Burton. Jerks.
Yes, sure.
Jerks.
And speaking of Tim Burton, just want to let you know it was on Saturday when he was in the parks. And don't forget, coming up is Disney After Dark Superhero Day, whatever it is. I don't know.
Yes, the superhero Marvel extravaganza over there at DCA. They're the Disneyland After Dark
DCA.
at DCA,
Right.
DCA edition.
Yes. So that's coming up. You can get the tickets for that still. Just go to Disneyland.com and get all the information over there.
That's for both nights. There's still tickets available
I
for
believe
both
so.
nights.
I haven't heard anything selling out and I haven't
Right,
checked.
so.
But you guys can check for yourselves. Anyway, yeah, go online, check that out if you guys want to go. I doubt it will be as good as the 90s one.
No, probably not. So, yeah, you have until whenever, May sometime, because that's at the end of May, right? Or is it the end of April?
It was April 30th and May 1st, I believe.
Oh, right. It's basically the week before Endgame comes out. So it's kind of like a real hyped up. I actually wouldn't be surprised if you got the Captain Marvel poster leaving the 90s. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something definitely Endgame related
that'd be cool.
that you'll receive, that anybody who's going to the two Marvel nights will receive. So Anybody that's planning on going to that or have your tickets already, let us know. mousepire@gmail.com. And of course, you could let us know and find out what we're doing through our social medias. We're, of course, MousePIRE on Facebook. And we are at MousePIRE on the Twitter and the Instagram. And just MousePIRE on the Snapchat. You were actually doing some snaps the other day.
I did a lot of snappies at the party. I hope you guys enjoyed them. They're pretty cool.
Snappity.
Yeah, so, join the Snapchats. Chaps.
Snap champs. Snap
Get your
champ.
chaps on and snap them.
Snap champ.
Yeah, so get your snaps on. Tim is the fresh one.
That's me.
And that's about it.
I'm here, but I'm about sleeping.
Good luck.
We're all hoping that he's not going to die on the way home.
That would be the preference.
Since his chauffeur is not here.
And if that happens, we have an opening on the MousePIRE podcast.
Yeah, please apply within mousepire@gmail.com. Subject line, third chair.
All right, you can find me on Instagram at Blue1313. I also posted some pictures of the party there when I took a picture with Blue and the monkeys and all that kind of stuff. You can also follow Buttons by Diggs on Instagram and see when your button order's going out. Don't forget to get your MousePIRE gear over at dgpclothing.com. And you can also help support the podcast at patreon.com/MousePIRE. Check out Michael the Mug Guy's $3 special. Any amount we get really helps us a lot. And don't forget, you can listen to our podcast over on YouTube. Just search MousePIRE Podcast or hit the link that is up on the Facebook page that says YouTube. And we are all cut up again on our podcast thanks to Tim the Tech, even though he's been really, really busy. And he's going to be heading out to Kentucky sometime in the next week or two. I could go if I wanted to, but I don't have money for a plane ticket. So anyway, check out MousePIRE on YouTube.
Sounds about white. And until next time, remember, if you're a racist, misogynistic, intolerant jerk, then you have no place in decent society, and we don't want you seeing our movies anyways. So for King Kong Bundy, Jan Michael Vincent, and the Gaffer Tape Guy, I'm Anthony.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Diggs.
Bye. Nap time. 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 Shark.
Nap time shark.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
This podcast is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Audio, sound bites, and other clips are property of their copyright holders. All original stuff is ours and property of mousepire.com.
Oh, it'll be...
Something's making noise. Can you hear that, everyone?
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Baby shark. Baby
No.
shark.
No. Stop
Baby
it.
shark.
I'll kill you. It's a whole new squirrel. Some assless chaps. That's for the...
Now I'm stuck with that image in my
That's
head.
assless.
That is so wrong.
Assless snaps.
Assless chaps on the snaps.
I will reserve my comments for a future date.
Okay.
Baby shark. Baby shark. Baby shark.